Welcome back to an all-new episode of Yeah, I've Played. It's the 6th episode in our Heavy Rain series, an episodic breakdown of the events of the game Heavy Rain by Quantic Dream. I'm Matt Hall.
I'm Andrew Taylor.
I'm Jordan Hill.
And today we are going to pick up where we left off, which is technically, for me in my notes, chapter 28, and we had a little discussion. I was under the impression that the game actually numbered their chapters.
No, I was kind of confused for a little. I didn't say anything because I was like, I just kept looking at the names of them and then I'd count based on the number you gave us. But I was like, there's no number.
After somewhere in the mid to late 20s will change because whether or not Ethan gets arrested.
Yeah, and I got in a little, I was so confused, and it turns out I was still kind of wrong, but I was asserting, I'm like, this shit is different. And Matt's like, no, it's this. And I'm like, and it ended up being, but there was, they totally changed.
Yeah, that's confusing, but yeah, essentially I was counting Prologue 1, Prologue 2, and then Chapter 1 forward.
Mm-hmm. I was making some prologues earlier.
Yeah, well... it's crazy that you compete on a professional level in
with the shits you take.
You know, it's really the underdog esport. I think it's really going to start taking its own.
It's virtual?
It is. Well, it's easier to just do it.
You just do it on your
like
webcam.
You're streaming it, yeah. It's like a Zoom call. Then your number gets called and you get to... You get disqualified if any of your boy bits are showing those. That's a very difficult aspect.
Yeah, just tape it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just tape it up.
I tuck it in, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A lot of
your own...
No, you can push your push a ball and pop them up.
Listen, don't tell everyone our secrets.
Okay, sorry. That's how there's no,
Today's also the first episode where we're filming with a 256 gigabyte SD card.
Wow, I can see the difference in quality.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to our podcast supporters for donating to the show and helping me.
Really.
And I should also mention this is one of the first episodes we've recorded since the show has become available on basically all podcast services, because I know a lot of you don't look at it, even though I put a lot of funny jokes in visually.
Yeah.
You can listen to it.
I tried to start because I felt bad last episode.
I wouldn't.
You made us feel bad. I tried to start watching them. I made it about 15 minutes before I was like, this is really making me uncomfortable a little bit.
It's kind of weird to just look at us when you're us.
I don't know if I would watch it if I didn't have to watch it for editing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I probably would if I wasn't editing. I think I would, only because I'm obsessive.
Right. I'd probably watch it if it wasn't me for so long. That's really the only thing.
All right, I'll remember that. On this episode, I will visually do something here to replace Jordan with something that he'll find more appealing to look at.
And yeah, if you find that yourself or you're listening to this more than you're actually watching it, and you don't happen to have YouTube Red or whatever the hell it's called, we are on all the major streaming podcast platforms like Podomatic, Stitcher, Last FM. Are we on Last FM?
No, I already said this much better.
I was adding more to them.
Mm-hmm. Or you could just download AdBlock.
We're on Blogger.
PC.
So chapter 28
Gaia,
is called...
We're on Gaia Online.
We are on Gaia Online. We're also on Zongle.
We're on IMVU.
We're also
Pixel.
on Club Penguin. You can find us.
We brought back Club Penguin single-handedly. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. We're also on the Linus Tech Tips forums.
And
Hotel.
Lastly, Alien Adoption Agency.
Mm-hmm. So chapter 28, Jayden Blues. And... This is something that was very eye-opening when you think about Jayden and how he's kind of a tragic figure. Mm-hmm. Norman, I'm saying Norman, yes. Norman Jayden. Norman, I was like, Norman? The man
Norman Osborn.
The man with two relatively uncommon first names.
Yeah.
For first name, last name. Norman plays piano in a fancy bar. He gets a vodka, and he chats with the waiter for a little bit, and he's expressing his doubts about Ethan Mars being the killer. But it starts with him just slumped over, just like...
He was plunking along.
I was kind of confused about this whole scene.
Really?
It was it felt very like twin...
Not real?
Twin Peaks-esque, you know what I mean?
It felt very surreal.
It was very surreal, and because it was like you said, you're talking to the bartender, you know what I mean?
The bartender, who's also the same butler from earlier in the game, where he's like, be sure not to do too much, you know what.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, are you at the hotel bar? This guy seems to know you pretty well. You're kind of talking about
But it looks beautiful in there.
Intimate details about the case to a waiter, you know what I mean? Like a bartender.
And he's like in a black and red tuxedo. It's very fancy.
Very The Shining.
Yeah,
very,
it's very
very
shining.
Twins Peak.
I'm
Twin
amazed
Peaks.
they didn't
Why
use
am I
that.
saying Twins Peaks. Twins.
I'm saying that he appeared earlier. He does. This is his first
This is
appearance.
his first
was-
This is
appearance.
where, this is where he tells you to
I wasn't gonna
not
correct
indulge
you.
in too much what, which is Tripto,
Pussy. Oh,
right?
I believe he means both.
Such Ari time. You know what I mean?
I think yeah.
Airy.
Sorry.
Ari Shafir.
Ari Shafir.
Please,
Ari,
just limit your
Ari.
consumption of that guy's output.
No problem.
So,
Honestly, non-issue. N/A.
so here's how this went for me. I'm curious how this went for you guys.
Okay.
So you analyze the clues after your waiter goes away.
After you nailed that fucking piano sequence, I nailed it. I was fucking.
I didn't.
I killed it.
Plinking along.
I think I'm gonna make an edit of that where you're playing the Max Payne theme.
I was thinking the same. So we realized that there's a lead we can follow. There's a stolen car that was at the scene of the Ethan event, the recent building escape thing where he was
Yes.
at the burned out apartments. There was a stolen car there.
With the lizards.
And so we realized it's associated with a guy named Mad Jack.
Yes, that's his name, Mad Jack.
Mad Jack, who looks... I won't get into it with him, but he looks like a generic NPC from Streets of Rage.
Yeah, there's a couple angles where I was like, for half a second, I was like, did they like model his face after 50 Cent? Because there was just a couple angles
had
where I
some
was like,
50.
but then right up front, nothing like
Not
it.
straight on.
No,
But
up front
then
he
there was a
looks
couple-
like he's just not necessarily even his facial features, but just like his whole thing is very similar to. So I feel like he's just like a generic fighter from like late era Street Fighter.
He looks like he looks like
Street Fighter 4 Alpha or like
Right.
fucking like a Tekken game I've never played, or what he really reminded me of.
I wonder if we're gonna say the same thing.
I really doubt it.
All right, you go first.
The guys who are like punking you out at the bar in Shenmue, they're like, "How about some milk, schoolboy?"
That joke is so funny it made me sneeze. Hold on,
That's a sneeze. That was the weirdest sneeze.
I was trying to hold it.
Okay.
So Matt has a clean cutting point. I think he looks like a guy that you could find like on like a secret path as a character that you could add to your party in Gears of War. Like
He's very built like a Gears
And I
of War
think-
character.
I don't remember the
like
lore,
the
yeah.
proportions. He's so big.
Yeah, Gears of
Looks
War
like
is one of the,
Street
like-
Fighter. You know what I mean?
one of the only series that like totally is outlandishly ridiculous with their male character designs, but the women are all pretty realistic. Usually it's the opposite.
Which is wild to think about.
It is also because these like the dudes from Gears of War are inhumanly large.
They're absolutely
And
massive.
The women have like real proportions, which
To a degree.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, I think
I've
a
never
lot.
played it really. Not enough to comment.
I feel like there was a thing in Gears of War where like prisoners were, like you break out of prison as Marcus Phoenix, or like Dom comes and breaks you out of prison. That's how you
Well,
start.
because you're
the
being
first game.
conscripted into the army.
But you were in prison for like war crimes because I think you were a mercenary. So like he fits the bill. If like partial past criminal, he could super be a cog in the coalition of ordered governments.
Well, maybe, but before all that could even happen, I got another Tripto attack. And so,
Same.
did you guys resist
Where was this happening?
In the hotel room.
in the hotel room? You were in your hotel.
A lot of Tripto attacks. Yes, I remember this.
You were talking to your fake bartender, drinking a fake vodka.
He was sipping that baby, yeah.
That was one of the things that was really crazy to me. Was like,
Who's sipping vodka?
well, no,
It was all fake?
Yeah, but who's sipping vodka? You sip like
that was
whiskey.
fake.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh,
that was
yeah, you're
airy.
confirming. Yeah, that was all
Okay.
completely a machination.
People sip vodka. It's
You gotta mix that shit. Maybe with a.
No.
not good vodka.
You can mix a good vodka with a Olipop Tropical Punch.
Yeah, it doesn't go well with whiskey.
Proud
'cause,
sponsor.
Andrew just told me he had Olipop and told me to bring over liquor, and he knows I
Yeah.
only have whiskey.
I
And
did
I
not
brought
know
it
that.
over, and that's what we were. That's what I didn't. You didn't say it was tropical fucking punch.
I didn't mention that. I forgot to mention what kind of Olipop it was.
Yeah, sometimes the details escape Andrew. But
Horrible mixture. Don't do that. But vodka.
people
would be
sip
great.
vodka.
Really?
Yeah, people
Yeah,
sip
it's-
all liquor straight.
Yeah, and have you ever seen like this is a trope in American media? Russians drinking vodka together.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Or even just like,
Yeah.
like
I don't
Those are
see
real
like
people.
I don't see like a crooner like sipping vodka. It's more like a browner, like a whiskey.
Yeah.
Get a nice vodka.
Maybe I never
really
had-
nice vodka.
There's a good
just
chance
wanna,
I've never had a
hammer back,
nice.
You probably only had,
you know what I
like,
mean?
Svedka.
Barton's.
Barton.
What's
yeah.
Skull? I had Skull is like cool
Sorry.
bottle but pretty low barrel.
Listen to what I'm trying to fucking say.
Okay.
Who drinks fake alcohol in the metaverse. Jayden.
He's deep in.
It is, now that it's with all the context, that is a very sad scene. I thought he was just like drinking alone at a really weird bar.
Right.
Initially, I did
but,
too.
And he is, but in virtual reality.
Right, and he has a virtual reality butler who can also like read his thoughts.
And like tell him that like he shouldn't be in here.
Right.
That's actually probably the scariest part.
So I get
Like, you shouldn't be
another
in here, so-
trypto craving, a trypto withdrawal attack, basically. Did you guys take the drug or not?
This time I did it. Every other time I resisted, I thought I had to. Because it's like the first time it didn't really do
believe
anything
you.
when I didn't. I hear what you're
I
saying.
thought I had to.
I had to do the drugs.
I'm still to a degree very confused as to what trypto is. Because I can't tell if trypto is like something that you've become addicted to.
It's tryptocane.
Is that what it is?
That's what they
That
call
is-
it.
Oh,
That's-
okay. I was
that's
like,
the
is that a
name.
real thing?
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I'm like, my thought was, I thought it was a way to treat like airy sickness. You know what I mean?
I believe it is.
But it makes it seem as though like you shouldn't be taking it
Yeah, it
because
seems like
it's a drug. But I'm like, shouldn't you just stop using the airy?
maybe it's like a.
know what I mean? Like,
I had a couple.
I think that's the struggle, is that he's
Yeah.
addicted to airy, and then the drug can help with the airy sickness, but
But is the
maybe
drug also
the drug
killing
is
him?
also hard for him.
Yeah. Or is
or
it-
bad for him.
Airy killing him.
my
both
assumption.
I don't think airy's killing him. I think it can just give him hallucinations.
Yeah, which
Okay.
could potentially have some more long-term mental damage. I'm assuming.
Yeah, so
With the-
I took it this time.
What happened? How do you take it? I don't even understand what the drug is. Like,
He
what
fucking
the
like
form is.
he takes it and he puts it up to his nose, and it's like it's pretty much just like a little depressor on top. And when he
okay.
pushes it up to the nose,
kinda looks like a-
it's like a nasal spray.
So it's like an
Oh.
aerosol.
Yeah, it's like an aerosol. It's like a
Okay,
nasal
so
spray.
it's liquid probably.
Yeah,
Because
It looks like a little. It looks like crystal meth. Like it looks like it's like very fine.
it does. It looks
powder.
like he would have to like snort it or
Yeah.
smoke it or something.
I think
like
it's
that.
intentionally vague.
But he does. He just kind of like nasal sprays it. Did you guys? Neither of you take?
I didn't
trypto?
take it. So
I flushed that shit, boy.
This
Yeah.
is-
Matt was so
but this is
startled.
what happened to me. I got another attack. I resisted taking trypto. So instead, I grabbed the bottle of vodka that was on the dresser. I downed the entire bottle of
Holy
vodka.
piss! Did that
Jesus.
work? Did that take you out of it?
No, and then I went in the bathroom and just threw up.
Oh, okay.
A lot.
Did that sober you up?
And then I washed my face, and then I took a shower with my suit on. And then
He does mention something about that.
Like when he was puking, like his mouth was moving, like he was saying something, but there wasn't any words there.
So they were just reusing a speaking animation
You think
for
the-
puking.
A lot of
I don't know.
a lot of mouth animations are weird in this game.
Yeah.
It was like he would throw up and like look like he was saying something, but nothing came out. But you didn't.
okay.
You didn't. Have the same
No.
experience.
So I resisted. I resisted using the trypto, and he kind of like. I think you can grab it and then you can hold it and you don't have to take it just yet. And I threw it. He's like, I got. One of his thoughts is like, I gotta flush it. And so I flushed it down, and then he just like slams up against the wall. I washed his face, and then he says something about like, "Oh, if I took a shower, I'd be okay. But it was already like coming out of it, and it was just that was kind of it. It's weird. I feel like I want to know what happens if you lean into using the trypto or completely not using it. Because
I was right in the middle because I believe this is the only time I used it.
I think it kills him.
if you use it every time.
I'm pulling that out of my ass, but I know that he's one of the characters who can die.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe my theories for what it is, and we've kind of already talked about it. I'm assuming that it's something that gets him out of it, out of those withdrawals or whatever.
Yeah, because
I don't. Well, yeah,
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's just if it's just.
withdrawal is from not taking the drug.
I thought it was from being in Airy, because he only gets it after he comes out of Airy.
But not immediately.
Why would he need to take it?
That's what was so cloudy and confusing to me.
Why would
was
he
I
be
couldn't
taking
tell-
Trypto to begin with if he was like?
I think my understanding as someone who's read up on this game a lot, and this is not based on anything you may have even seen in the game, depending on your choices. My understanding is that being an Airy long term causes hallucinations. Trypto prevents hallucinations from happening, but it's a very addictive drug. So he's having Trypto withdrawal.
while he's having the hallucinations, effectively, because that's what it seemed like was happening in this scene.
What did he hallucinate in this scene?
We went to the forest, baby.
Yeah, I was like, don't you go to? I was like, doesn't the whole room change?
It was
Right,
actually
and
really
so,
cool.
And so what happens, like, if he just waits out the hallucination, he'll be fine.
Okay.
But
I think
he's also, like, wanting... Because I don't think that every time he has a Trypto withdrawal attack, he's also hallucinating.
No, that's true, because it doesn't happen
And that really does
in the
make it
game.
murky, because you'd think it was directly related.
So he's addicted to and having withdrawals from both Airy and Trypto. It's a little confusing.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why it was cloudy for me whether or not I should have taken it in that moment, I guess.
Yeah.
It should have been explained through some sort of storytelling, like, context.
Yeah.
Like, almost immediately.
And even when like the guy, like even when the bartender says like you got to stop using that, he's like you're using the Ari at the time, so I thought he
think
was
he's
talking
talking
about that.
And it's called Airy.
Fucking Ari. Like goddamn, you're gonna every time. I'm gonna walk out of here.
Little chapter episode thing from Alan Wake.
So we didn't get arrested. So we skipped the next chapter that would have occurred, which is basically where, and this is really interesting, I thought it was at least.
Get a Mona Sax style level.
Yeah, you basically got to like bust, Norman helps bust Ethan out of prison.
Oh, no shit.
Oh,
jail.
okay.
Okay,
cell.
that would help solidify the relationship that he has with other characters later in the game. That was a little surprising to me.
Yes, but
Without-
because it didn't happen, plot hole. So
Yeah.
chapter 30,
Uh-oh.
and I'm going to stick with the numbers because it's too late.
It's too
We're
late.
more than halfway through.
Yeah.
Manfred.
Figure it out.
Manfred, our
We're
boy.
saying the names too.
Manfred is my favorite character.
Manfred Man's Earthband.
Manfred reminds me of the Keebler Elf.
He does. Very sweet old man.
He's 78,000 years old, and he does not hear his door opening or people yelling around him.
Yeah, so Lauren and Shelby are at
Older
a
than
shop
time
called,
itself.
they're at a
That's
shop-
why he fixes clocks. He is indeed Kronos.
He's at a shop called Manfred's Techniques. Shelby and Lauren. I said techniques. It's antiques. Techniques.
Like, yeah, you
That's-
said techniques.
He offers some.
Like, what?
He offers some
He also
classes.
trains in BJJ.
He's got some classes in the back that you can
he'll
take.
roll. You guys can roll together.
It's not martial arts.
really
but
physical.
You'll learn some techniques.
I have in my notes here that Manfred is so old that he can't hear us yelling at him. I have to literally shake him and go, "Do you remember me?"
and he goes,
Hey!
So he's like, "Oh, Shelby, old friends, let's celebrate." I think he goes, "I think I saw a bottle of scotch over here."
Yeah, like, celebrate that I haven't seen you in 10 years. It's like,
And like,
okay.
so they're, he probably knows him back from when Shelby was either in the military or a cop or whatever.
when he was an elite member of the military.
So,
Yeah.
so here's what was going on.
What was going on, man?
Fill us in.
There's Matt's new segment. What's going on?
They're sipping scotch. They
You
don't
took a
offer-
sip?
I did.
Yeah.
Every time alcohol was offered to Scott Shelby, aside from when I was alone in his office, I drank.
Question:
drink alone.
Did you finish the drink?
No.
Okay, because I only took the one sip. You can take a second sip and throw it back.
Yeah, I finished it. And then there was another animation where he was still sipping, and I didn't tell him to. But you don't offer Lauren.
He
any.
pours 3 drinks too.
He does.
I didn't. Oh, then Shelby drank them all.
Yeah.
He drank 2.
Okay.
I was like, because he pours 3 drinks.
No, not for me.
He did for me,
did
and then
for me as
Lauren.
I
well.
only
Lauren
had 2 glasses.
Because I had to
Lauren
interact
didn't
with
drink
them.
it.
I had to interact with 3
I was like,
drinks.
I figured he was pouring it for Lauren, but
Poor Lauren.
Lauren is
that one's for the lost homies.
I have a shot in the background here where Shelby's pounding the scotch while he's like, "Oh, you like that music box with the ballerina? It's a very special one. It's antique."
Like me.
And she's fucking with it.
I broke it.
So a series of events happen here. You get a phone call. He asks you to answer the phone. He goes, "Oh, can you grab a magnifying glass for me?" Because what you have is the envelope that Lauren brought in, the piece of evidence, which was sent by the origami killer.
That's right.
Origami.
You believe. I mean, it's not definitive proof, but you're pretty sure it's directly related.
And since Manfred repairs both typewriters and clocks and all various forms of mechanical antiques, he would be the one that could help you identify.
Yeah, so he identifies it. The sound of the clocks in here is insane.
It's maddening.
It's just...
I didn't notice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay, I was
When
like, how did you not pick up on the...
things ramp up soon, and I noticed it there, and that was giving me anxiety.
Yeah, there's a moment where like a cuckoo clock goes off, and you can even see like Scott Shelby get visibly. He's like, like he's getting. It seems like he's becoming anxious because of all the fucking.
I feel like
I wonder why he'd be.
Manfred only tolerates it because he's
Extremely
got
deaf.
extreme hearing
Yeah.
loss. So,
No, you can't.
Maybe that's
like,
why
aren't-
he has extreme hearing loss.
You're a cuckoo cuck. He's like, man, Manfred. The sound of these clocks doesn't bother you. All I hear is the ringing. It's just horrendous tinnitus. You can't hear anything. All he hears is 50,000 kilohertz just blasting in his ears.
They're like, so you know what this typewriter
It's not a
is.
frequency.
Is there any chance that like you would have worked on one of these? And he's like, yeah, I fucking, when the company was going out of business, I bought all of their stock. So
Yeah.
I'm the only person who has fixed one of these
And he's
since
also-
1902.
He's kind
I
of
was
like, there's also fucking
just
a lot
you?
of these. Like everybody probably has one of these
Relative
Right, they're very
somewhere.
common.
It was
Yeah.
just like it was like the standard.
They were called
Right.
Royal 5, I believe is what they were called.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
That was the
It
model.
was called Royale with cheese.
Yeah, well, in some
France.
places.
Yeah.
a
If you're
mayor-
in France.
Not here.
No.
A Mayor
If you're,
McCheese.
but this game does take place in a weird hybrid of America and France. I remember back in our first episode, I did go, well, let me just say it's not set in America per se. It's
You
set
said it
in
was
the
in
city.
the city.
But I did confirm later it's set in America because they show the names of.
It's like Philadelphia, Boston.
Yeah,
It's like
you're in New York City. They're not calling it New York City, but then they show you a train station that could only exist in New York City.
Yeah.
But it's also very like I mentioned in the last episode, I think, with the motel. Like a lot of the scenery is very West Coast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like it is very much like all of those are East Coast destinations. You know what I mean? Like I've taken trains and buses all over New York State. You know what I mean? And like those are the other destinations.
That's what they look
Philadelphia, Boston.
But the hotel is straight out of the south or the east.
Yeah.
Sorry, West Coast.
Yeah, for sure, West Coast.
Yeah.
Or like it's coastal, but for sure it feels very West Coast.
Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah. I mean, it's been so many fucking movies. It's a classic. And you do not see those over here, really.
No,
At least not
Inaccurate.
in New York.
not New York.
So what happens is he's like, well, I have a list of clients that, you know, of course, I keep records on everybody.
Yeah.
At least the ones who paid. And Lauren is like really putting in the detective work. And there's points where like, throughout this, where like Scott Shelby would think to himself like,
That broad ain't so bad.
basically, yeah, just kind of like being like, huh, she really thinks she's gonna get somewhere with this.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
Huh. She hasn't been she like it's like I'm sure like, you know, most detective work is just like a bunch of dead ends and
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
False positives. And
You're just talking to a lot of people and getting nowhere with it and
Yeah.
then leaving and being like on to the next fucking guy who probably doesn't know
that doesn't
shit
know
about
anything. And maybe
The
he
job
does.
is
And
the
I
work. The job isn't necessarily like it's not like you get paid upon solving the case.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go back there to the back room to check
He's
on
like,
him because
"Oh.
he's checking the records.
Manfred's kind of taking a long time. Better go peek at what's popping off back there.
He's dead.
he's fucking dead.
He's dead as fuck.
He got his ass licked. He's dead.
So
Lying on his back, bleeding.
and somebody has called the police. The line is still open. Mm-hmm. You can see the phones hanging down.
the window's open.
Back window's open. So
The
Shelby's
killer.
like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Cops are coming any minute. She's like, we should call the cops. It's like, don't call the cops. The cops been called, and what are you gonna do? Like, you really want to fucking deal with being questioned about this dead body when we are on a tight time limit trying to find Sean Mars?
Yeah, like he's gonna drown if we fucking waste time getting questioned by the police about why we're here.
So,
Good point. And they weren't involved.
no, they weren't involved.
Yeah.
But to prove they weren't involved, they fucking
This was such a stressful sequence.
This is, yeah.
the cops are coming. You gotta wipe down everything either of you had touched. And the thing that killed me is after I got everything, I believe I did.
Same.
Here's the thing. Fucking, she goes, did you get everything? And he goes, I got what I got.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
He's like, it's gonna have to be good enough. And
So
you're like, are you fucking...
what did you guys wipe down? If you remember.
I'll run you through
Rapid
what I
fire?
remember. Rapid fire. I remember I got magnifying glass right away. I went in
ding,
the back.
ding.
I got the window because
Window.
I leaned into the window. You know what I mean? I went and got the front door handle. Obviously, we came in. I went and got the music box because she touched that. I got the fucking glasses and the scotch. He wiped down the scotch bottle too. You wiped down every glass and the bottle of scotch, even though I
Yeah.
don't think you touched the bottle of scotch.
I don't think he did.
Don't think you touched the
I think
bottle
he
of
poured
scotch.
another one in my plate.
In your,
anyways.
okay, so that might have been why I did. And then I think there was one more
Telephone?
thing. That was the thing. I started panicking, and I was like, because like I wiped down on the scotch bottles, and I was like, fuck. I answered the phone, ran over, wiped down the phone, and then I can't remember if there was one more thing. But then I went up.
Magnifying glass.
So
That was the
one.
first thing I did.
Oh, right.
And then I went up to the door and I was like, we're ready to fucking go. I got everything in my mind. And then she was like, did you get everything? And he was like,
I got what
did the best I could. You know what I mean? It's going to have to be good enough.
So the thing you didn't mention was when you go in there, she's like leaning, like with her hands against a glass case.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Because it cuts, as you leave, it cuts to the glass case. And it's just like, bang. And I was like...
What I didn't do, I didn't wipe down the door handle.
No.
I thought that he was going to get it as he left. I didn't think like... Because
that was the most obvious.
Because you're going to have to grab the door handle as you leave. So I thought he was going to grab it.
It's kind of weird.
Can I also mention something that was dumb about the way he wiped down the magnifying glass? I don't know if you guys noticed it, because you got the magnifying glass.
Because he didn't use a microfiber cloth and he got it all scratched up.
That is part of it, but he only wiped down the lens.
Yeah.
And he's holding the handle as he's doing it, and then he just sets it back down.
I was like, that's kind of stupid. If you do clean the door handle, it's kind of weird. They make it seem like he kicks the door open, kind of, instead of then again putting his hand on it. Did you notice that?
I did not. I didn't pick up on that part.
So
I was pissed because I was trying to think about what I didn't wipe down because of what he said.
Yeah, I must have missed that same thing that Lauren leaned up against.
Did it cut to the glass container as it left?
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's what you forgot. 'Cause
Damn.
I believe it cuts to whatever you forgot to wipe down, because that's the only thing. Because then it immediately, because we all forgot something, cuts to you sitting in the fucking police station getting questioned.
But yes, but also, did you guys close the eyes of our pal Manfred?
Yeah, he fucking closed his eyes.
And I remember that, and you grab his shoulder, so I was like, my
you check
prints...
his pulse.
So my prints are on his
I tried to wipe
face.
him down, I couldn't.
It didn't give it.
Okay, all right. So I thought that's what got me. I didn't realize
it wasn't an option, because I hovered, because when I got the windowsill in the window, I checked his body as well. You know what I mean?
Are prints not viable on another person? Does that not work?
Well, you can have, I don't know.
I've never thought about that.
I don't know how it works. Yeah, because I don't know.
No, you can get prints off a person.
Especially off of their clothes and stuff, I think.
Yeah,
but it's probably not as easy
It's just not as thought out in this game, that's all.
Yeah.
I was because you should have wiped him down.
Give him a little baby bath real quick. Sponge bath.
Spit on him.
We're being questioned by police, and he's basically like, look, I know, the cops are like, all right, whatever, Shelby, you're out of here, that's fine.
Yeah, because he used to be a cop, and he was basically like, obviously I just didn't want to waste time. I had nothing to do with this. We were just in there.
Yeah.
Somebody fucking killed him. You got to figure out how to time for this.
I wrote down the police has a bad accent.
PI or not, Mr. Shelby, don't leave town. And if you end up next door to any more dead bodies, remember to call us. Okay?
The police has bad accent.
Yeah.
You know who has the worst fucking accent in this game? Any kid. Any fucking kid in this game. We'll get to it later.
Gets worse than
the cop. This cop also has a bad accent.
This cop had a bad accent. I'll play a clip of him here.
It was Rocky with Sean and Jason, but oh boy. Coming up.
Blake sees Shelby and he's like, hey man, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while. And he's like, whatever it is, don't worry, I'll take care of it. For old time's sake. Which is very ominous because you're like, well, we know what kind of cop Blake was.
Yeah.
And then
It made me kind of question. I'm like, wait, is Scott Shelby a fucking pile of shit? Because I'm like, because you mentioned earlier, he has those shitty thoughts all the time where he's like, oh, I've seen whores usually live worse than this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just another. So I'm like, but you know what I mean? Because I fucking love Scott Shelby. He's he's a real American hero. You know what I mean? He seems like the only good guy in this game, but with old shitty values.
It's like if John Wick was casted John Goodman instead of Keanu Reeves.
Instead of Keanu Reeves, yeah.
I don't know where I put it in my notes, but at some point later, he's like, I haven't seen Blake in a while. That guy still is a twisted fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, wait, maybe he's not like him. Because he's basically feeling like, man, that guy fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But maybe it's maybe Scott Shelby was also a cop, you know what I mean? And so he did kind of toe the line a little bit.
Yeah.
In certain points. Maybe he never ratted on him, but maybe he didn't also murder people in cold blood with him, you know what I mean?
I just like that he called him a twisted fuck.
Yeah.
So Lauren
Which
and
could
Shelby,
be a term of endearment.
it could be. Lauren and Shelby are in the car, and he's like, basically he's like, look, man, you got to get out of here. This is too dangerous. I want you off the case. She refuses. And she tries to take the steering wheel from him.
That was very
I
dumb.
tried to I tried to be nice. The first option is you can be understanding and nice.
Yeah.
Is one of the 3 text options, dialogue options.
I started off soft, yeah.
And then the next one, all of them were mean.
Yeah.
None of them could have been I said something that was just argue or something like that, or impatient or annoyed. I picked annoyed.
I think I was cruel.
Yeah, I picked annoyed because I figured annoyed with just him being like, why don't you get it? You know what I mean? But instead he just started fucking yelling at her.
Really?
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
I didn't do that because I was like, I don't know. I don't trust that he wouldn't go off
Yeah.
which he pretty much did. He just started like yelling at her, and
I
then
started,
she fucking grabbed the steering wheel.
I tried to play this whole thing very realistically.
Very real.
And when she was not responsive to Scott being like, dude, people are dying. You are not a trained professional. You're very much in the line of fire. So after she didn't respond to that, I did choose the cruel option. And he hauled off. He said, doing all this is not going to bring your dead son back.
Jesus Christ.
And then she grabs the wheel. They have this kind of awkward, like, back and forth where you kind of just like go left, right, until you like
but it's like
stabilize the
She's
car.
trying to crash the car.
and it's
like,
raining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up scene. And so
And then she says, I'm leaving.
yeah, she gets out, and I feel bad. So she says, she's like, stop the car. She gets out, and then she just stands in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Right in front of your car.
In the rain.
She's like, I didn't think this through.
And
Well, I
it's
don't know
like-
where I am.
Yeah. So I go to comfort her.
Did you get out of the car? Yeah, you got out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got out. I was like, she's
It
too
seems like
stubborn.
you can not,
She's
yeah.
not going to give up. Like,
I like highlighted the foot on the gas and thought about it for a second. And I was like, no.
Just like
this
real
one
life.
time, I went back. I hit her with a car. I felt bad. I reloaded my save. And,
Well, I remembered how my parents were. That's,
But no. And
that's
then,
not true. My parents were divorced though.
Yeah, I don't think either of us. Any of us I don't think any of us come from two regular parent household. But anyway,
Can confirm.
fucking, you walk up behind her and like you can choose to like be romantic, or like it's like caress, or comfort, or like a.
I chose comfort. Or
Yeah, I think
something.
comfort,
chose something
I put my big
Yeah,
ridiculous
I
jacket
think we all
on her.
picked the same
I put
thing.
my jacket on her.
I typed in. I was like, Scott Shelby ain't
was-
no creep.
Yeah.
I didn't want to try to make a move. Like, yeah, let me make a move on her when she's at her most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
But I
right
gotta
now's the
say,
time
Like,
when I'm like,
I put her in that position.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now let me be her savior.
But
also,
I do that.
like,
I do that to women in real life.
Yeah,
It's
but I
very
don't want to
effective.
like. This is role. I'm
Yeah.
trying to role play on
That's
this
what
and
I'd
do
be
something.
I want
other
to know
than what
like
I
what's
do.
it like to not be a shitbag. You know?
Yeah, it's a fantasy.
Like normally I gaslight. Let's see what it's not like.
Lauren in his jacket.
Kidding.
That's joking.
I'm gonna insert a statement from my girlfriend right now.
Reading a piece of paper while she's shaking and looking over off camera.
Kidding.
Kidding.
Yeah, it was
She'd never read for the channel.
Lauren, yeah, it's really good. Lauren in Scott's jacket, hilarious.
That's funny.
He's the biggest man and she's the smallest woman, and it was like she
big
had
dog.
like a gigantic like tarp on her. It was very funny. But she gets back in the car.
Yeah, and that's the end of the chapter, which brings us to chapter 31. It's the next challenge. It's the one in the shape of the shark.
The shark.
Ethan's back.
Dashark.
Ethan,
Carcharodon.
last time I saw Ethan, the challenge was go to this address and kill this man.
I consistently want to say this is where things heat up, but like every moment in this game is where things
This
heat
game
up.
ramps up to complete insanity all the way up to the last moment you are, up until the very end, because some of the ending scenes are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, the guy's a dope dealer. He thinks that Ethan's trying to score.
Did you guys have trouble like? I fucked up taking the gun out the first time.
I did. Yeah.
You like
It
try
was-
to pull out the gun as like the
I had a
door's there, and I'm like,
surprisingly
Oh, I did
realistic.
not.
No.
Yeah.
I
So
had the gun
I fucked
ready,
up.
but like I tried to open the door and like I fucked it up, and then when I got in, I showed him the gun. He's like, "Oh, hey, all right, let's talk about this. I got money.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want?" You know.
It took me 2 tries to get the gun out. The first time I
did
fucked
too.
it up, so he just like closes the door
closes
on
it,
you,
and then you, like,
knock
pound it.
again, and he's like, "Fucking come on, man!" And then I got it out. And that's when he does the
Oh,
same
maybe
thing.
that is how it went for me. I
And
didn't
he
think about
backs
it
up, and he's like, "Oh,
There's
okay, man."
a lot of moments in this game where it's like literally morbid. I remember reading Ethan. Did you guys read Ethan's thoughts on the way to the door?
I think I read a couple of them, but I
Not
didn't read
good.
all of them. No.
He's clearly incredibly distressed, going back and forth like, would I do this to save my son? Can I be a killer to save my son? Can I kill this guy? And then one of the things that was most memorable, he says, he's like, okay, don't look him in the eyes. Just when they open the door and blast him. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, because those are the real thoughts you'd have.
It's like the Breaking Bad scene.
Oh,
With Aaron Paul.
with another character.
It's fucking like a 10-year-old. I watched it when I graduated high school. Like,
Sorry if that's a spoiler, but yes, there's
it's a 10-year-old show.
Yeah, it's Jesse with Gail. It's the same exact scenario, pretty much. A guy knows too much, and Jesse has to blast him.
Or he'll get killed.
Yeah,
They're basically like, we'll kill you or you got to kill this guy.
and
he
he's
goes up
an
to the door and it's the
innocent guy,
same.
right?
I mean, he's cooking meth.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
this guy's not too innocent either. He's also a dope dealer.
He
Yeah.
seems like he's selling drugs because he's basically like, I told you fucking junkies to make God. You got to fucking tell me when you're coming. You can't just fucking show up.
Yeah.
So
And Ethan doesn't say anything at first. So this guy's just yelling at you.
what happens for me is we go in and then like the guy's like, all right, hold on, I got you, don't worry. And then he grabs a shotgun. He's like, I got you now, bitch.
Yeah, same.
And
Shotgun bigger than handgun.
And it's like, it looks to me like he's shooting like
Like a like bird shot, like a spray.
Yeah.
Like, it seems odd.
It's not using because it's a Dave Chappelle joke that's funny, but it's a
Yes.
You use birdshot for home invaders, or like it's you load in like 2 different rounds. It's like first one's birdshot because that one's going to hurt. You know what I mean? Like
right.
and it'll take you down. The next one's a slug, which will just like take your fucking entire leg off. You know what I mean? So
That's a good bit.
Yeah.
So we kind of wrestle all the way through the apartment.
Yeah, literally throughout, and he's just blasting holes in like the doors of his apartment, through the walls, like destroying lamps.
Ethan's
chairs.
narrowly.
He's in an apartment building.
Yeah. So it's
And
like
Ethan's
you
like-
have neighbors, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's how people get killed all the time. Is like a bullet goes through the
the
floor,
door.
like it just like comes up through your floor and you get like shot in the head. You know what I mean? Stray bullet.
And to Ethan's credit, he's like
Great
he's
comic.
who?
Stray Bullets.
I don't know. That was a guy.
I meant comic book.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
Great.
stand-up
My favorite
comedian.
stand-up comedian is probably Stray Bullet.
I like Tracer
like-
Bullet personally.
I was like, kind of
I
strange.
like I like Cop Killer Round.
I'm a big fan of Earthquake.
Pretty
He's a
good.
real comedian.
I like Typhoon.
I like Escape from
The
Jesus
Natural
Island.
Disasters, the WWF tag team from the 80s.
I like Kevin.
Kevin Hart, yeah, you do.
I like Kevin Hart. But to Ethan's credit, as he's like
He's a family man.
He's a family man. He's jumping through. He's fighting back too, which I
Kevin
thought was
Hart's a family
surprising.
man, too.
He really is, but he's a lot more physically fit than Ethan. But like Ethan's like
Ethan's
blasting
also like
back
missing a
at him.
finger, has 2 broken ribs. You know what I mean? And, like
li-
is all cut up.
He took some painkillers. He's fine.
the one time, and then he didn't take any with him. He left him on the bed, and I imagine the cleaning ladies were like, "Oh,
oh,
you know what I
man,
mean?" I'm not trying to imply anything about cleaning people at hotels, but
But here's the thing.
Oh,
They didn't seem like they were like hot, like prescription.
yeah, it's fair. It seemed like it was just like arthritis level, like Advil or something.
Yeah, it was like, oh,
Acetaminophen.
I don't know. That's like especially bad. Anyway, go on.
because that'll just hurt
But
your kidneys.
they're having this really intense back and forth blasting at each other, and there's a lot like I don't know if I'm gonna like. Did you guys miss any?
I think I missed one, and like you don't get shot, but like I think I just like got hit or like tripped over something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
got
think-
biffed on something.
I don't remember missing one, but I'm sure I missed at least one. But it was really intense, and like Ethan doesn't know the layout of this apartment, but he's moving through, and as you, I think
big place.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's surprising. Lots
huge.
of rooms. Fortunately, every room is also connected to another room.
Yeah,
So
very normal
there's
layout
no-
for an apartment.
Very
Yeah, it's
normal.
like a big ring.
I love how my bedroom leads directly into the next bedroom, which leads to the bathroom, which leads to
Yeah.
the living room, which leads to the kitchen.
It's very convenient.
Like sometimes there's doors, sometimes there's not. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
really up to the person who put this. Is that a bug?
Yeah, there's a little bug flying around.
I'll eat it. So,
But you end up
in the children's
in
bedroom,
a children's bedroom.
and he runs out of bullets, or his gun sticks. It was very unclear.
It
to
seems
me
like
what
he's
happened.
out of bullets.
Yeah,
That's what it seems like because he's just clicking over and over again.
because a shotgun doesn't have a lot of.
It's harder to jam a shotgun, especially when it's pump action, because you physically, you know what I mean?
Right, but here's
it
the
out of
thing.
there.
Unchamber each.
But they can only
chamber
keep
and
a
unchamber
couple.
each round.
Can't
Yeah,
keep
I
that
thought
many
you can only
slugs in
put
there.
like 2 shots at a time in that.
In a double.
And it's like usually like
In
you
a
can
pump
fit a
action,
few,
in a
you know
pump
what I
action,
mean?
I feel like you can get like up to 7 or something.
Okay, 'cause
depending.
he was
Usually you
shooting
need
a
a clip.
bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's several moments where you have way more bullets than a gun
noticed-
would have.
yeah.
There's a scene later on as well where you just have a handgun. Handguns hold
we'll
like
get
max
into that.
11
We'll get into that.
rounds.
That's one of my favorite
and-
scenes in the whole game.
Yeah.
But
There was not a lot
at
of
this
reloading
point,
happening.
There was no
Ethan-
reloading actually.
Ethan has him. He's like, he's got him at gunpoint. The guy's like, please don't shoot me. I'm a father. And what happened for me was, I said, I'm a father too. But I have no choice.
No!
And I fucking blasted
You
him.
blasted
in the
him?
I have to save my son!
Oh my
And
god!
I have to
your
save
scene,
my
I bet
son.
he said, I'm a father too, but I'm no killer.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. Oh, okay.
He said, "I'm no all killer, no filler." The guy whips out a picture
Yeah,
of the
of the
kids.
Yeah, he
takes out a
of
picture
the
of the
2
kids.
daughters or whatever. Where the fuck was that? Did he have that in his
wallet?
bathrobe?
Yeah, in his
Wasn't
wallet
he
or
in wasn't he wearing like a lounge yeah? I thought he was wearing like
Bathrooms
a
have
robe.
pockets.
Yeah, they got pockets.
Do they? I've never owned one because I'm not like you guys.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to have like 2 or 3 robes when I was in my early 20s, and I didn't have another one until very recently.
You're really enjoying it.
Andrew, I gotta highly recommend you get
I'm
a
like,
robe.
I need you to know that is on the list of like that's my next purchase because same like I
Really?
used to have a bathrobe, loved it, and then I haven't had one for probably like 5 years now, and
Yeah.
it's like
I usually
I'm
just
I'm fucking dying for one.
I just go shirtless at the old house at my ranch.
I get chilly and I want to feel comfy.
Yeah,
I want a nice big soft.
What do you go, pantsless too?
Nah, usually shorts.
Right. Imagine this.
Or
nude,
pajamas.
except for a robe. And it feels great.
You can hang dong.
It's very good.
And the grease is gone.
You don't have to worry about anything. You know.
And
It's
then I
just
feel like if you're like cooking bacon or something, you just like close the robe so you don't
burn
I
your
like
burn
I
your
like the
hot
ones that are
cock.
like the.
So you don't accidentally drip
I used to
your
love the
penis.
ones that feel like a big towel. You know what I mean?
the
Those are the
terry
best
cloth
ones.
robes.
Big terry cloth robes with like the fucking tie around it.
I gotta say, it's just like it's one of my best adult purchases.
It's just get a robe.
I'll
Give
try
a go.
it. I guess I'll find a
They're-
cool.
I mean, like they get pricey.
I'm
you know
sure.
what I mean?
I'm sure I
But
can
Is there,
find
like-
you a Fallout 76.
I was gonna. Is there like a cool gamer?
Like, you have like Vault 101 on the back.
Can we
you
like
know what I
partner,
mean?
get them partnered, and we can have like a hidden machine logo?
one that looks like Preston's coat.
or it's Preston's face pattern. Yeah, he whips out the picture. He's but I love the take was such a cool line, but the take was so rough. He says, he's like, I'm a father. These are my kids. Please don't shoot me. And then Ethan's like, I'm a father too, but I'm no killer. And he literally says like killer. And I'm like the most
Yeah, 'cause
like
he's exasperated.
He is.
I think it's one of the best lines in the game.
it was really memorable. That
Either
was
way.
like
It was a very intense moment. I like where I'm at with this. I'm like,
wait. Instead of blasting the guy, you just knock him out with a pistol whip, and then you get the fuck out of there.
Right. That's what I chose the first time I played through this game. And the second time I was like,
I couldn't do it.
I gotta kill him. I gotta fucking do it.
I have to save my
I want
son.
to save my son.
Number one, I have to save my son. Number two, you really care about your kids that much? You just blew like 30 fucking shotgun holes through the goddamn home.
And
that
you're
apparently
dealing
they
drugs
live in.
out of the home that they live in.
And like you blew a hole through your kid's bedroom. You know, you
I
would
didn't
have
think
just
this guy was any better than me.
you would have just shot a man in the head in your kid's bedroom with a shotgun
Yeah.
had you had another bullet.
yeah.
That was the main reason why I wasn't afraid to kill him, is because like he would have killed me.
He would have
And I know
killed
he
me.
only would have killed me in retaliation for me trying to
Because
kill
you
him.
broke into his house and started shooting him.
You haven't
But
shot
I
at him
thought-
yet when he
I
started shooting at
fucking
you?
killed him.
Huh?
Yeah, I fucking blasted him. It's really
It
quick.
sucks.
He does it. He's like, I'm a father too. Boom! And it's just you're like, fuck. It's just like it happens real quick. And
And,
it's
he's-
fucking-
and then he says, "But I have no choice." And
Yeah.
even by the time he says, like, it's like I don't even know. I don't even know if he gets the line out all the way
Yeah.
before he shoots him. It's so quick.
and then he fucking vomits all over the floor.
Yeah.
Ethan does?
Ethan,
Oh.
Ethan
yeah.
like hits
He
his
gets
hands
very
and he's
sick.
just like,
How, well, will we go into how Ethan doesn't get in trouble for killing a man? Like, is there more to that when you do shoot him?
No, I think
it
it
never
just,
gives any more context to that.
because like it's just some drug dealer. I don't know.
It's the same way that like there's just that dead. Like if you choose to kill the guy with all the crucifixes on his wall,
Nathaniel, yeah.
Nathaniel, like, do you think anything happens with that either?
I guess not, yeah.
Like if they just
that-
find a drug dealer dead and they're like, well, looks like they got in a gunfight. And
Will that happen? And like this is such a maybe a naive question. Like, are there like people of low note that when they find them dead, they don't investigate?
That's
their
how
deaths?
every serial killer gets away with it.
Really?
That's how every serial killer. That's how not every. That's how like I think we said this last episode.
We talked
too.
about this a while back.
Because
Okay.
of, but we talked about it because of police incompetence at the time and lack of communication. But it's also because like that's why it's like serial killers like they kill like Jeffrey Dahmer killed gay people in like the 70s and 80s when like it wasn't cool to be gay, you know what I mean? And they were generally young men who were black, you know what I mean? And then like other people kill like prostitutes,
There's
transients.
a huge thing up in Canada right now, like enormous lawsuits and stuff, because Indigenous women are getting like just found dead all the time, and there's literally no like police intervention or,
wow.
or investigation.
You just go, well,
It happens
they
all the
died.
time.
And they go, how did they die? And they go, nah, probably
guess I'm
just,
not-
probably just drugs or like they got killed because they were doing something dumb.
I guess I wasn't
then they
ignorant
write it
to
off.
that happening, but I didn't know the
It's
frequency.
widespread.
It happens.
We just
all the
live in a
time.
very small area. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
makes
There's
sense.
not a lot of people
Frankly,
here.
low crime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, there's not a lot of people here.
Brutal.
So-
Like, can you imagine getting killed and no one?
Covering my face with the iPad this whole time.
Imagine getting
Don't
killed.
look at me.
Killed suddenly by somebody you don't even know what happened, and then no one ever tries to figure out what happened.
Yeah, all this happens all the
Oh,
time.
that's brutal, man.
Chapter 32, The Doc. Madison has learned through some of her press contacts as a journalist, which I don't know if she even like reveals that she's a journalist, but you kind of pick it up through
Not
context
yet.
clues.
It's Jayden picks up on you being a journalist.
You get a little bio on her.
because it's when he.
Right,
yes,
that's
we're
not
not
until like
there
chapter
yet.
like 39
That's
or something.
sexy girl.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But Madison learns that there's a doctor living in a neighborhood over here that owns the Marble Street apartments where Ethan's last trial was.
Where all the
So she's
salamanders
trying to be
were.
like, what the fuck was going on there? Who owned that building? Maybe I can help get to the bottom of this. So the doctor, who is played by Colin Mockery from Whose Line Is It Anyway,
Yep. He looks a lot like Colin
Oh,
Mockery.
okay.
He's
I was
not
like, was he
literally-
voiced by Colin Mockery? I'd be so upset.
Madison goes and asking for drugs without a prescription. She's like, I heard you
Illegal.
You can get like tryptamol or something. It was like some drug, like Pandramol.
Yeah, and he's like having trouble sleeping, which is like you don't like I don't know. I don't like buy pills, but I'm like usually you're not like you got any sleeping pills that I can get from you?
I
Yeah.
don't know. I've known people that were addicted to like Ambiens and shit.
Yeah.
It was me. It was me.
I also know people who would like fucking like take a bunch of I can't think of what they're called now.
NyQuil, Dramamine.
No,
Xanax?
no, prescription pills.
Xanax?
Maybe Xannies. I don't think so.
What was
Basically,
the effect?
they would take a bunch and then go out in public. Like, for instance, my roommate drove his bike someplace, put his bike on the back of the bus. You know, because there's like a bike rack on the bus, so
Yeah.
you can get
Yeah,
bike
so
to the
you-
bus stop. He just rode the bus for hours, forgot where he was, and then like eventually wound up back home and was like, "Oh shit, where's my bike?" and had no idea what happened.
I just left it on the back of the
Might have been Xanax, but I don't think it was.
like
I think it was.
Percocets or like Klonopins or something, or God, it was
Yeah, doesn't matter.
I don't know.
But it was a downer. It made him very sleepy. Either way, you're basically trying to like grift information from this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, "So, I heard you might have apartments for rent," and he's like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I do," but like you're like, "How about
Sorry.
something on Marble Street?" And she says it like,
So highlighted.
Yeah, she's very much like
"I understand there's some illegal activities."
And I'd like you
That's
to...
not
anything you
cool.
wanted to admit about
I'd like,
Marble Street.
I'd like to discreetly have you express some more incriminating details
Just
about those
speak
areas.
right here if you don't mind. Into the mic.
Marble Street. Marble Street.
And he's like, you want a drink? And he pours like a snifter of wine or something. It's like
Yeah,
it's,
like what Frasier drinks sherry in. When
Yeah.
Frasier and Niles have a glass of sherry.
What's a snifter?
a very small cup.
I've never heard it before, but context clues, I picked it up.
A snifter?
Yeah.
I was like, do you put it in your nose?
No, that's your sniffer.
Oh, that's right.
That's a sniff sifter.
A snifter.
very embarrassing.
A snifter is a brandy glass or cognac glass. It's a type of stemware, a short-stemmed glass whose vessel has a wide bottom and relatively narrow top.
Okay.
It is mostly used to serve aged brown liquors such as bourbon and whiskey. It helps with the large surface area of the contained liquid, helps evaporate it. The narrow top traps the aroma inside the glass. It's I'm going to put it on screen, but in case anybody here wants to see, it's one of these.
Oh, okay. Yep.
But he pours a very tiny snifter.
Yeah, it's a much smaller version of that.
They're really tiny little glasses.
Yeah.
What are they? Glasses for ants?
France?
And
Needs to be at least 10 times bigger than this.
you can choose to not have the drink.
Yeah, I didn't.
Did you drink?
I drank.
Why?
Why not? He seems like a reputable, trusted.
I would
Trustable
argue
man.
that you wanted to see what would happen if you chose the riskier path.
Yeah, I guess I was hoping that.
Is that true? Am I right?
Yeah.
In my assumption? Because
I
that's
was
why.
thinking-
Because we were talking about this last night in chat, and I do think a lot of the most fucked up scenes in this game come about because the game appeals to our more base curiosities, and it's like,
Yeah.
what happens if I put this person in a fucked up
It's like
situation?
if I see the thumbnail for the beheading video, I'm gonna click on it, but I'm not gonna seek out the thumbnail. You know what I mean?
But it's,
Yeah.
it's
If I
like,
scroll
ooh,
past
what
it-
about? And it's like it's
I was
kind of like you
I
know,
know-
putting your Sims in a room with an oven and nothing else.
and making 12 more ovens.
And putting a couple tables in front of the exits. Maybe putting a grill in the living room and having a teenager cook a meal.
I was also like, my plan was, I was like, if I was Madison in the scenario, there is a very high chance that this man that is known for having access to drugs could drug you, but also maybe if you were to drink his drink, it would disarm him and like make him like think that, oh, she's cool.
I only had the latter thought, which was if I drink, everyone will relax. And then I need you to know the moment I took the sip, my head went, why'd you fucking, you're goddamn,
I
and then
was kinda
immediately
like,
my head
oh,
went
God.
to rohypnol, date rape drug. You know what I mean? Fucking human centipede.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I haven't done it, but I believe what happens if you don't drink is that he like goes out to grab something, and you can like rummage around his office area.
Oh, okay.
And kind of get the information you need. You might still have a scuffle, but what we chose is we'll have the drink, and then he's like, "Oh, feeling a little off? Haven't you ever didn't your mother tell you not to take drinks from strangers?"
It goes from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
You wake up strapped to a bloody table in a basement. You look over,
Dead guy.
dead guy
In a suit, like-
gash in the head, and he's like, "Oh, it was one of those." He said he was a census taker, but I know he was one of the government spies. And it's like, "Oh, this guy's completely nuts."
Yeah, you're.
And I thought he was going to try to drill into your stomach, but when you told me he has like a hand crank
And it's
drill.
not a drill. It's a hand jackhammer.
It's like a sawzall.
It's a jackhammer, but it's a handheld jackhammer.
It's a handheld jackhammer.
Yeah, it's a hand jack is what they're called. The way he's holding
What do
it.
you use it for?
You use it generally to. It works exactly the same way.
I thought it was a
jackhammer.
sawzall.
It's not a sawzall because it's a round bit coming out of the front of
I
it.
saw a rectangular blade.
It was a round bit and it was pumping like that.
Okay.
It wasn't a drill because it wasn't twisting. It was doing that. And what a jack does, the same thing a jackhammer does for, where it's just like a chisel. You know what I mean? But an automated
just
chisel.
a tiny one
Yeah, it's a hand jack. I've used one before at construction sites.
for breaking down tiny bits of concrete.
No. Like you can use it. Like say you've used a jackhammer and you've broken off a big chunk of
A
something.
dollhouse.
And then, for a dollhouse, yeah. No, it's for like finer details when you're trying to hammer something, but you don't want to use a chisel. And it also doesn't weigh 180 pounds.
Good, because if it did, he wouldn't have been able to shove it in her pussy.
Yeah,
which is what he was going to do.
Sorry.
I didn't read it this way, but you mentioned he was like, yeah, he's basically going to like put it into her vagina. And I think I said, oh, I guess he is going to try to drill her pussy or something. I said something very crude, but no, he is. He's getting ready to like, and I didn't.
squats
I was
down.
like, well, we discussed this last night. I was like, I didn't really read that scene as sexual because he's clearly just murdering people to come to his home.
Yes.
But I looked at a compilation of death scenes, and there is one scene where, like, he'll cut your throat. And Madison dies in the scene if you fuck this up.
Oh, okay, fucking A.
He starts fondling her dead body. He
really?
rubs her inner thighs and her breasts.
Oh, I didn't realize she
You
was
sent
dead
that
in those
screenshot,
ones.
yeah, and I was
She was
like,
dead in that screenshot.
Ooh, okay.
It's so again, over-sexualizing Madison at every turn.
It's a very common theme, and it's another one we're going to get to
Soon.
2 more times in the next episode, I believe.
God.
But the thing is, for me, it was just like, that character would have been just as effective if he wasn't a sex creep.
Yeah, well, because they had already created the atmosphere that...
Why?
Yeah, couldn't he just be a crazy killer guy?
That's what he's
That's what I'm saying. It would have been just as effective
they
if he
said it
was
was-
not a
They
sex
said it
creep.
would not have been. And
No,
I
I
was
was
like, why?
like, he was already
Well, it's
super
like, and they
scary when
already
you
had
first wake
the-
up. You're like, there's a dead body here already.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and he's like a doctor. He's like wearing a lab coat and stuff. It's like, he's going to harvest me for parts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've established that he just murders people because he's insane.
Right.
And he assumes that there's a conspiracy against him. So, like, why does he have to, like... It makes it, like... There's multiple points in this where I'm like, it just makes it... Every time they have a man interact with Madison...
Yeah.
It feels like he's just this, like, fucking lecherous creep.
Yes,
Who's, like,
yes.
drooling all over himself. Like, if he could, he'd start jerking
the-
off in front of
like
her.
the
You know what I
Motel
mean?
But also, her butt is insane.
She's got a great ass. But...
Put a lot of extra triangles in that ass.
But no, it's really silly. It
What
feels
the
forced.
fuck does that mean?
More
Polygons
polygons.
is like...
They put a lot more definition in her ass.
Yeah, you're right.
To give it
more
that
triangles.
sweet,
That makes sense.
Plumpy juices. That's how you say it.
More triangles in that
Triangles.
ass.
That's what polygons are made out of. All of us are made of tiny little triangles.
In real life?
Yeah.
I thought that was just how digital characters are rendered.
That too. But also in real
They're
life.
always in the shape of a triangle.
They are.
What is a polygon?
Sometimes they're voxels. What
What is a polygon?
I don't
It's
think
like
a
the- it's that
voxel is a
Pokemon.
box.
It's Porygon.
Yeah, it's a
Porygon is a triangle-shaped Pokemon.
Several triangles.
multiple-sided shape. Polygon.
Yeah, poly meaning try and gon meaning side. 3 sides to a shape.
I'm like, you're telling me polygons have to be triangles, and I'm like, I don't think they do.
Polygons are not necessarily only triangles.
Polygons are made up of triangles.
Exclusively.
I think so, yes.
I used to draw polygons a lot then as a kid. That was like my favorite sketch to. You make little robots, except all their joints and everything are triangles.
I don't know.
It's fucking cool, man. I'll draw one for you sometime.
That's on the case. Either way, 3D models are usually comprised of triangles.
But yeah,
how he
you
gives
guys, it's fucking...
My
he tries
understanding
to-
is this. Yes, it's a polygon can be any shape.
Okay.
Usually triangles. Polygons are made up of triangles.
Exclusively.
I think so, yeah. You think Mario is made of a bunch of circles?
No, because circles don't have sides or edges.
You think Mario's made a bunch of squares?
Maybe.
No, I wouldn't say squares. I would say maybe like at minimum a triangle. If not, maybe a square or a rectangle or a hexagon.
I bet you octagons would make pretty solid lots of
Octagons,
sides.
yeah. I'd imagine like it's any number of sides, but probably 3 or more.
All right. Well, I'm glad we took the time.
You can't have a shape with 2 sides, so you need to have an enclosed space.
That's right.
Do you like
Otherwise,
this?
It'd just be a line.
Do you really like what's happening right now?
Very boring.
I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it because I've never heard this.
Anybody that deals with 3D modeling, if I said throw a lot of triangles on there, they'd know that means.
If you were like that ass,
extra
it's got way
definition.
more triangles. If I walked into a game studio
Yeah.
and I said, "Damn, look at that bitch! She got
I
all
believe
those
that would
triangles
be
on that ass."
a universally understood term.
I just
anyone
the
that
reason
works
I
in
don't
3D
believe it is because I've seen like wire meshes of video game characters, and they're not made out of strictly triangles.
A lot of time it looks like
They're made out of polygons. A polygon, a 3 is the minimum because without 3 you couldn't have a polygon.
It'd just be 2 lines.
It'd be 2 lines, but
It'd be an L.
like as we see here, there's a bunch of different kinds of polygons.
And we'll be putting the same diagram in front of Andrew's dumb face.
That's why I don't know.
What are 3D models made out of? What shape are 3D
Polygons.
models?
Polygons.
That's what it said when you search for that?
Yeah, they're made out of polygons. But polygon does not mean 3 sides. It just means 3 or more sides to a shape.
Well,
But I don't know.
okay.
I'm gonna hit up some game designers. We'll find
get a hold
out
of 'em.
because I could be totally wrong. Maybe it is just all triangles. Maybe Mario's 64 is made of all triangles.
Generally, I believe they're all.
We know Lara Croft is all triangles.
She's got a lot of triangles on her. There's only 2 that are important.
I only remember 2.
Those are the 2 important.
You can't remember 2 of the triangles?
No, I only
only
Oh,
remember
you'll
2.
only remember those 2.
Yes.
She had her feet, too.
Arguably, that's one.
Those are the 2 I remember.
Those were just bricks.
As soon
never
as
played.
he's
I like when
about
she blows
to
apart.
destroy her pussy with a power tool,
Undisclosed power tool. We can argue about what it is.
I believe you.
No,
It looked like a blade. It looked like a sawzall blade to me. It looked like a.
It looked rounded to me,
But
that's all.
I believe you
Could be
because
wrong.
also the handle was kind of weird. It wasn't because a sawzall is usually almost like a.
It's like a
It looks
gun.
like a drill where it's just
Yeah.
like a cylinder. This had like a handle on the side.
Yeah.
Which I'd never seen on anything like that. So it would look like you'd be using it.
That could also
Like
make
this.
down, yeah.
That could also make it a multi-tool. Like it had like the leverage thing on the side.
Possibly, yeah.
A 90-degree.
I think it was a hand jack, because I've...
Because
it's
you've
what it
used
looked
one
like.
and it
Yeah.
looked like one.
Yeah, that's all. That's why I think.
I would say it looks like the thing I thought it was, with some significant differences, and those differences would likely qualify it as the thing you're saying it to
Cool.
be.
But he tries to fuck her in the pussy with it. And,
Fuck her in the pussy.
I thought it was
Ding
very,
dong.
very distasteful for him to say.
Ding
right as he was trying to
dong.
commit that crime.
Oh, can you believe it? There's some at the door, and there's a guy trying to sell Bibles, and the Bible salesman
Oh.
has a hilarious voice.
I've come to bring you the word of the Lord in the form of these magnificent Bibles, which I will gladly leave with you in return for a contribution of only $5.
I don't know why you're ding-donging.
And I also didn't understand why he didn't also take in this Bible salesman to murder. If he's just taking people in
Right.
to murder.
Well, it's frustrating to me. Well, okay, I guess I answered my own question. I can't tell how far away the door is from this basement that we're in.
No,
But-
they don't really establish
But it's
that.
complete. The house is completely silent, and it allows you can press A to scream. Somehow that guy does not hear you.
And also, he gets to the door very quickly.
He does,
And
so
comes back from the door
I'm assuming
very slowly.
he does come back pretty slow.
Like
Maybe he
it
grabs
takes him
another
about 12. Yeah, maybe, right? Maybe he's just hammering it back. He's like, oh, it's like I gotta get black eyed drunk before I murder this
swig.
bitch.
I hate murdering.
He's like, I love doing it, but I hate feeling it.
So I was very surprised because I thought maybe if you screamed enough, the guy would hear you and be like, "What the fuck?" And
I
maybe
thought
send
so
the
too.
police.
I figured that would
Not
just
the
result in
case.
him getting murdered, though.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I figured that would just mean he would also get murdered.
And then things heat up.
You basically use your wits to break your bindings.
Yeah, you're just
your
tied.
hands and feet are tied.
I'd wiggle both of my legs out, and then
I think I busted one foot out, and then I was able to scoop up that mystery tool.
Yeah.
To then. But then you use it to saw up the ropes.
you can't tell if you're sawing it, because if it was a sawzall,
So it's sawzall. my
sawzall.
friends. Yeah.
I don't fucking care what it's called.
I'm just letting you know.
If
I've never heard sawzall.
It is.
I've heard
That's what it
Sawzall.
does.
I understand a Sawzall, but
Got
I've
a
heard
lot of
everybody
guys say Sawzall.
Yeah,
I've only heard North Country guys say Sawzall.
yeah. That's my context. So like, you can tell me it's called something totally different, and
You
I'll
could
believe
say
you.
that to anyone that uses it, and they'll know exactly
Yeah,
what you mean.
you could tell me I'm saying it totally wrong, and I'd be like, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But so if it was a Sawzall, she has to like put pressure against it and kind of hold it. You know what I mean? Which would imply that she's using like the friction to get through the rope. Because if you just turned a Sawzall on against a rope, it would just go like butter. You know what I mean? It would have to move about twice and it'd be through the rope. You wouldn't really have to apply any amount of pressure because it's a serrated blade, 2 serrated blades, you know what I mean? Generally moving against each other.
Not at all. Have you ever used
Or
this,
one
tool?
serrated blade. The Sawzall?
Yeah, it goes forward. It goes out of the device and then back in.
Yeah, which would imply that if you had it against a
it's
rope.
reciprocating saw.
Do you understand what I'm saying though about the rope? No. If it was against the rope and you turned a Sawzall on, it would go. You know what I mean?
Cutting through it?
Yeah, like if it was just touching the rope,
Yeah.
the rope would catch on the teeth of the saw blade and then be torn without you having to apply probably any pressure at all. Whereas with the tool she's using, she has to push the rope against it tightly, and it has to do it a bunch of times until eventually it breaks, implying that it is friction that is causing the rope to break, not that it's being sawed through by sawtooth.
I found that to be very odd in the moment too, where I was like, why is this power tool thing not able to just do it?
Well, you gotta.
It would
You
have.
guys used a Sawzall?
Yeah. Do you not understand that it would cut through rope very easily?
Yeah.
It'll cut the rope
And
like that.
And it
that was the
didn't cut
experience
through
that
rope.
I did for
No,
me.
I had to go like,
didn't. You had to repeatedly rub it against it.
I remember
yeah.
just pressing the button and it was like.
That's
she
not
had
what
to
happened at all.
finagle her angle, and she had to.
Her hands weren't
She
tied
did
together
finagle
either.
her angle.
Her hands were tied like
the
this.
angle of her dangle.
I only had my feet.
Your feet and hands were both tied. You were tied like
I
this.
undid one of my
Yeah.
one of my stompers,
Yeah.
then I kicked it up, and I
You
was
just
using
said
the
you had it
tool.
like this, and we're doing that against it to get
Yeah,
yourself free.
she fucking like a magician. She kicks it with her heel
Similar
up
to
to
how
her left arm. and then she,
Jayden kicked a
pulls it.
gun.
It was preposterous. Yeah, she
then it's
almost
here.
kicks herself in the ass to scoot it up
Yeah,
to the.
and then
to the
she rubs it against it
wrist.
for a minute.
Mine was
Like, you
real
have to
quick.
rub it against it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just better at rubbing against it. than
I
you
think
are.
you're misremembering
Well-
potentially.
I would never do that.
I eventually was able to, after the guy comes back, he sees that you're free. He grabs some sort of circular
To like
saw.
a bone saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a bone
Handheld circular saw.
Yeah.
Bone saw. Bone saw. And fucking, he's going at you, and you're battling.
This
Eventually,
was tense.
I believe what happened at the end was I just fucking stuck a drill in his heart.
I got
Yeah,
him.
you picked the hand jack back up that you were using. That you
put it
used.
through his heart.
Yeah, and you put it through his fucking heart.
Yeah.
And then he falls to the ground and you fucking kick him again.
Yeah.
One more
Yeah.
time. I kicked him one more
But
time.
this
there
could have
was-
gone so many ways. If
Yeah,
you look up the
so-
death compilation,
Yeah.
there you have at every turn. They must have put like 7 different deaths in this.
Because I missed one, I think I missed 1 or 2 QTE, and both times I was like, I'm going to die for real.
I
This
thought that
is
was it. Yeah.
And I mean, not to focus too much on the over-sexualization and stuff like that. I get that this is potentially one of the first death scenes, you know what I mean? Where they can potentially die for real.
Yeah.
But it's to think that they put 8 different ways for her to be sexually murdered. You know what I mean? And then
It's gratuitous.
a lot of the stuff
I would
that
say almost none of them are sexual murders.
Okay, until he gropes her afterwards.
There's one, yeah, and there was because she was on the table. He groped her, but the rest are just he just cuts her throat and it's like ha 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 and walks away.
okay.
Gross. I did miss-
It feels gratuitous. We talked about it last night.
There is one
But-
where they are raw dogging, and it's consensual.
She seems
Don't get the
into
wrong
it,
idea.
yeah.
No, it's it's before and then
Before they've had the drink or anything like that.
after they're fucking, she falls asleep and then she wakes up, and he's sawing her body in half at a magic show.
I was really with you that entire time. Because I thought you were talking about Ethan or something, and I was like, "Well, I don't remember this." Did you guys get the moment? Because I like you, I only missed 1 or 2, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, she's dead." I don't remember exactly how it happened, but she gets slapped or some shit, and she gets a little dazed. I think it gets her in the head real good, and she slumps over the operating table
Yeah.
where it's horizontal and she's vertical, so she's kind of bent over, and he's looking at her cheeks there, and
Yeah.
he's approaching, and I was
Throwing
like
up,
this. I thought I was about to see a very upsetting death.
Well, because then
scene.
he does grab her legs and kind of you know what I mean?
You guys got that
He
too,
just
though?
starts fucking going for it.
Okay.
No, I'm
Right.
kidding.
Have you ever seen Deliverance?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Squeal like a pig, boy.
We're just gonna move on. All right. The movie does not have a famous sodomy scene.
Okay.
So I mean,
definitely
but
doesn't.
basically, we all killed him, and then we moved on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was fucking brutal.
Yeah, it was one
One of the most tense sections of the
I
game.
remembered a lot of details of it because it was so intense, but my literal only notes for it are, that was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
That whole chapter, I said, that was horrible.
It was the most shocking part of the game to me.
Because it felt like it feels very, like it's just kind of fucking, it's never brought up, no spoilers, it's never brought up again.
No.
She gains nothing from that meeting.
And we don't learn.
You know what I mean?
Where,
Really?
No, she does.
She figures out
She
to go
learns
to-
the name Paco Mendez.
Yeah. But
And
I
that
mean,
gets her in a
death.
whole other bunch of trouble.
I'm like, it just feels like it's,
Nothing but trouble.
yeah,
For
and it's like,
Madison.
there's like the accusation of
Isn't
David
Madison
Cage.
Page the fucking, the name of the Have an Affair service?
No.
No, that's, God.
It's probably good that we don't know it.
No, because I had a friend who that was their Instagram handle for a
Yeah.
while.
Kelly Blue Book.
No, it's
Ashley Madison.
Ashley Madison.
Okay.
Matt's like, I gotta check that out real
That's
quick.
what it was. But no, it's like with the context of David Cage allegedly saying every woman in my stories are whores. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All the women in my stories are whores. Like, puts a really bad taste in my mouth during this scene and like scenes to come. And even like now the first scene.
Scenes to come to.
Scenes to come to, Volume 4.
compilation you
Yeah,
made?
it's my compilation.
I
It's
hate
just,
it when they
you
say
don't get
that.
to see any of the scenes. You just see me come to every scene.
Well, the audio is kind of lightly playing in the
Yeah,
background.
audio's there. I layer each time I come though. It's a layering of every time I've come.
Wow.
But with that context, it put a bad taste in my mouth for like that scenes to come to, and then the scene earlier where she's even like the shower scene earlier where you could make that shower last like 7 minutes if you want to or whatever instead of.
I didn't need 7 whole minutes.
No, I probably need about 35 seconds, baby.
No, but I hear you. I think it's
yeah.
worth pointing out that it's just like this guy is an alleged sex creep in different ways. Like, you know, I've been trying to look up, did he actually say these things? They're alleged comments. I can't find a record of anything. One of the lawsuits against him where an employee was like, well, I was harassed and this and that. Like there was like, you know, photos of me were like photoshopped and onto like a porn star's body or something. Like
Yeah, I read that.
and then like that, and then later
fucked up.
that lawsuit was dismissed. They're like, you didn't quit because of that. You quit because of something else entirely. And like that kind of like, yeah, sure, that may have been like inappropriate behavior, but like that wasn't your issue, and you're just trying to like bring that up because it definitely makes them look way worse.
Yeah.
When it's like what I said last night was like I get the impression this could very well be like a bro operation where people just say horrible shit and no one is against it until like later when they want to like throw it back in their face and be
Yeah.
like you're horrible. Or it could be the kind of situation where, like you said, people are just like kind of like it's not worth it for me to speak up because it's my job and I don't want my job to be fucking worse than it already is.
Yeah.
It's
the
impossible to know.
complacency. You can't know. We weren't there. No, you know what I mean? And it's hard to... But it's within the realm of
Regardless.
possibilities.
Either way, it does kind of taint
Yeah.
how you view these scenes where, for the majority of the game, Madison is over-sexualized in a aggressive and dehumanizing way.
And it seems like it seems as though that up until this point, that's really her only like purpose is to do that and to help this man who she doesn't know, who she's suddenly like, I'm infatuated and in love with.
The
this
one
man,
thing
you
she
know what I
has
mean?
to gain,
is the fact that we haven't learned she's a reporter yet.
right? But right, so it's not totally revealed, but
Yeah.
you know, she might get rich off this experience.
Yes.
By writing a
true.
book as a journalist.
Yeah,
So hard
absolutely.
to say. I want to close this discussion because I don't want to defame David Cage anymore.
Yeah. It's all alleged.
I haven't really looked into it. so
Also,
I just
he
have to
hasn't.
be like,
He has
"Ew."
not paid me anything to say good things about him. I swear.
So I won't.
So I won't. But I will say.
But if you wanted me to, you know how to get a hold of us.
We're kidding.
Before I end this
not.
discussion, and we move on to the next chapter. The last thing I want to say is, polygons are usually, but not always, according to Wikipedia, triangular in shape.
I know my triangles.
Yes.
I
thought you were trying to say they were always, and it's like I've seen it. I know they're not, but it is the most common shape.
I think it works the best for what they're trying
Well, you
to
can
do.
make a square out of two triangles. You know what I mean?
Put them together, baby.
Same with a rectangle. Put a few of them together, you got an octagon.
You're still thinking.
up.
You're thinking very 2D.
Don't do this.
in this demonstration.
Don't do at the end of the episode like this. The end of the chapter.
It's not the end of the episode.
It's not the end of the episode.
But yes, chapter 33, bankruptcy.
Mad Jack. AKA,
Woo!
who can off the top of their head tell me his real name?
Oh, it is Jack. There's Jackson in there, right?
Jack is in there.
I don't remember.
It was Jackson Neville or something.
That is it.
Oh, fucking hell yeah!
Winner, winner.
That's what I'm
Fourth
talking
cousin
about.
of singer Aaron Neville.
And the whatever the fucking kid's name is from Harry Potter.
Neville Longbottom.
So Neville Longbottom. So I just want to highlight as we progress.
ass.
He has a real big ass on that guy. Not big, just long.
Just long.
It goes down to like halfway through his thigh. I just want to highlight how in fucking tense this chapter that we just experienced was as we move into this next chapter.
Which is also very
Which
intense
is
in a slightly different way,
incredibly
but-
fucking intense.
It's a little more comical though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But like it starts out,
little
it
more
like
slapstick.
there's a little taper, like it just starts off like, meh, 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 and then it's right back into that same level of intensity.
So you're at a big junkyard. It's raining. It's muddy.
Big junk.
It's like an automobile junkyard.
It's like a
specifically.
like
It's
an-
a giant scrapyard.
It's like a vehicular wasteland, you could say.
Yeah.
It's a wasteland of sorts
Imagine,
for sure.
That's
imagine
something-
finding your car on a strip of wasteland.
Yeah, man. Or your dead son.
Ah, that too.
In the wasteland off the highway.
So
It's just a nuclear fallout wasteland off the highway. What? Don't go there.
you're there because the guy who operates the place, the stolen car was in his name or something. And,
Yeah.
You know.
It was traced back to.
So basically, it seems like he
Mad Jack.
strips and steals and redistributes stolen cars.
He puts on new plates, gives him
And-
a fake registration, you know what I mean?
So he-
And Norman does like a little background, and he's like big rap sheet. This guy's a bit like lots of crime.
yeah, but all his
yeah,
crime has
one of
just
his
been like,
crimes.
it's mostly been like assault, I think,
yeah,
and like theft, or like, you know what I mean?
maybe drug.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of someone else. Never mind. There was someone else who had a ridiculous crime on their thing that I had to look up, and it was like a British thing. I was like, oh, what?
They insulted the Queen. It's a federal offense, or the equivalent to it. Do they have a federal government?
No,
in
he
the UK?
went into a building there wearing a full suit of armor, which is a crime over there.
They're not allowed to wear those.
Yeah. So Mad Jack is running some sort of big piece of equipment, and Norman's like, "Can you stop this thing?" And it's
Did you guys go to him before investigating the garage there?
No, I went right into the garage, so
I wish I had done
I had a
that.
different interaction.
Oh, I went to him first.
I went to him
I was
first.
like, I'm not gonna fucking just go
He
into
said
this
that, and I
guy's
was
property.
like, oh, I didn't. No, I walked right into his garage.
Because you don't
Oh.
see it. Like if you because you see him directly head on, and then the garage is kind of like behind you.
Can I give you the direct quote that he says when he comes up behind you as you're walking around in there? Hey, cracker!
Ooh. Really?
Yes.
I wish I
He
could have
calls you
experienced
cracker, and he's like, what are you doing? And I go, like, what the fuck are you doing here? You know what I mean? Can I help you? You know?
Not an unwarranted.
No, not at all.
thing
But
to
it's
say,
just
but-
funny the way that like my first interaction with like I think like the first or second black character in the game is just him. Hey, cracker!
that. Probably the most significant person of color in the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably, as far as like having the most lines, and like he has this very like
Mm-hmm.
bad experience.
Well, basically, what happens for me is
That's my belly. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my god!
I'm
It sounded like a
asking him like,
plane.
hey, can you stop the machine so we can talk for a minute? And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, man, I don't know. I don't really talk to cops. I have nothing to say. Like,
Yeah.
just why don't you just get out of here? It really is very uneventful. And I'm like, all right. So I decided to go investigate his garage.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the same.
So I'm searching for clues. Did you find all the clues in the garage?
I believe so.
Yeah,
find
pretty
some
sure.
clues?
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure because I found there was like a trace of orchid pollen or whatever. There was a bunch of blood
Tire tracks,
and the tire tracks, and then I found like the
footprints.
There's footprints, and then there was also like an empty spot where the car was. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
At one point, I have in my notes, I don't know if he said this to his face or if he thought this, but he calls him Jackie Boy.
Yeah, I think it's one of the thoughts that you can go through.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Oh,
I don't think.
haha, what's this over here, Jackie Boy? And it's like, I don't know, man. Norman's such a dork.
He's really-
incredible how much of a dork he is, and there's a lot of cool shit that happens here. So, did you find the trail of blood?
Yes.
Did.
Leading to the acid bath? And you find a skull in the acid bath?
Very super normal thing to have.
Yeah, regular stuff.
Well, the acid bath is for stripping car parts and stuff.
Is that real?
Yeah, to strip the paint off of car parts and like to like specifically
Does it
for, like-
exist in a vat like that?
probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, you have to
What
put
else
it
would
in,
it be
you have
in?
to put it in something that it won't dissolve. You know what I mean?
All right.
And you need to,
acid bath. I've never.
But it's like especially like engine parts. You know what I mean? Stuff that's like wrought iron.
Oh, okay.
You know, to like strip the paint or like rust off of them.
But not a human body.
Never. Don't ever bring a human body to a scrapyard.
They hate it.
That's when he found me.
That is also when he found
Yeah,
me.
same here.
Okay. So
You found me.
Found me lost in your garage.
did he have a gun to your head at that point?
Yeah.
Gun right out.
He whipped it
So
out.
you fight him, and he's like, "We're gonna take you back here," and he's leading you to the back of the garage to go shoot you outside of the immediate view of the public. And I don't know what that little like board on wheels is called that like a mechanic like lays down on.
Oh
Yeah.
damn! I'll try to think of it. I used to know.
I'm sure it has a real name, but
It does.
Probably like a Crimble or something.
Or it's like a dolly of some sort. You know,
yeah,
or something.
A dolly would probably, yeah.
There, as you.
Azerbaijan, yeah.
So I
I
like
think it starts with a T.
I like
Oh,
do
it's
a
gonna
cool
kill me.
move because it's clear that like Norman Jayden like
Jordan.
is like a total skater in Airy probably. So he's
Yeah.
like, I'll do a kickflip off this thing and fucking scoot it back, and you get Mad Jack to trip, and so we're like beating it out.
Tripping.
Yeah, and we're beating it out. We're fighting.
So we're both beating each other off. Suddenly, you know?
Oh man,
I gave him at gunpoint.
He's also like not affected by any of your punches.
No.
Like he's so much bigger and stronger than you are.
He laughs at you as you
yeah.
punch him in the
You
face.
like hit him in the face, and he's like.
Like literally a cartoon villain.
But I decided to impress him, and I fire a shot.
Oh,
in the
did you?
garage.
I did as well, and,
And,
that kind of levels the playing field a bit.
Yeah.
He was uncomfortable by
The
that.
guy goes, "What? Are you crazy?"
Because up until that point, he was not like he won't. He's like, "What are you gonna do? Shoot me?"
I threatened to shoot the gas tanks because I like have
I
the gun
shot
on
near the gas
Yeah,
tanks.
I didn't end up shooting it, but I was like, oh, look at all that gasoline. Those were probably pretty volatile, probably pretty.
Really?
Shame somebody shot a gun in here, and he's like, "You're fucking crazy, man. You're crazy, dude. You're crazy. You're crazy."
When I shoot, I shoot the gun.
He's
and
really
he goes, "Are you
fucking
crazy?"
high.
Norman goes,
Oh shit, Jack! Ain't nothing to it, just a little bit of self-defense. Page 1 of the police manual. Kill or be killed.
he's going Joker mode.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
going full Joker mode.
Let's go, Joker. I'm the Joker, baby.
Oh god.
It's really rough. But then as soon as I have him in that position, I get another fucking Tripto withdrawal attack.
I know.
How did this go
like,
for you
I
guys?
fainted.
Yeah,
You
I started
fainted?
like,
same.
oh shit.
I tried to you try to like grab it from your pocket, your Tripto, and I fumbled the QTE.
I dropped it.
So I fucking I go to grab it, and instead I just fucking throw it across the garage.
Oh. Yeah, no, I did that too.
And then
but I
hit the
flushed it.
ground to fucking.
I must have had another Tripto because I threw it away. I flushed it in that last scene, but I did have it in this, and
Oh, yeah, I don't think he has just one.
I flung it. Yeah.
definitely
and
got
also,
a-
who's his Tripto dealer? That's what I want to know.
the FBI.
Blake.
What if the guy?
What if Mad Jack?
No, what if the guy that Ethan killed was a Tripto dealer?
Oh my god, that's how it's all connected.
I've been playing other Quantic Dream games and like trying to note like possible connections. And the game that they did before this is
Indigo
challenge.
Prophecy or whatever.
Indigo Prophecy or Fahrenheit. When it came out in America, it was recently after the release of Fahrenheit 9/11,
The book.
the movie.
Fahrenheit
411.
451.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Fahrenheit 311.
Fahrenheit 9/11
album
is
you're
the Michael Moore.
Never
it's
am
the Michael Moore
alone.
movie about 9/11.
Oh, that's right.
Which I think it may have also been a book, actually, because most of his stuff is a book first.
I don't read.
He's good. Been annoying, but he's good. He cites his sources at least.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's true. He's very agenda driven. But the publishers in America were like, no, we're gonna call it
Go
something
on the
else.
nose.
Yeah, it's like, why? It's not like no one's gonna confuse Fahrenheit the game with Fahrenheit 9/11. I'd really doubt it.
They think it's the Michael Moore interactive movie video
Experience, yeah.
God, imagine the Michael Moore video game. It probably exists. There was probably some shitty browser game.
Oh, for sure. You get to go harass the Walmart gun clerk.
Oh yeah.
Who makes
yeah.
$5.50 an hour, which is 2004.
There's a lot of scenes and tropes in Indigo Prophecy that they like pretty much botched that they bring back in Heavy Rain and do so much better.
All right.
So I don't know. We'll see if there's a quantic dream connected universe or not. I'm gonna guess no, but
Boy, I hope so.
so you faint. You wake up and you're handcuffed to the steering wheel of a car that is being lifted up and being dropped into a crusher.
Yeah. It's like what, like it has the two drums that are spinning. Yeah. It's like you're not getting out of there.
Like in 30 Days a Night.
Oh my god, that's what I was
I
thinking
have
of
no idea
too.
what that is.
You never seen that movie?
No,
it was
is it a vampire
I think
movie?
it was a Dark Horse comic book.
It was a
Dark Horse graphic novel that
I
they made into
don't
like
know what the
a
distinction
horror
is.
movie.
Yeah.
And I think it was pretty solid.
I thought, yeah, I
It's
read
probably if I watched it now and not when I was 16, it wouldn't be as good. You know what I mean?
I read the comics and I saw. I think it had a sequel as well. And pretty good.
There's no consensus on what graphic novel means. It was just
Yeah.
a marketing term people started using to basically be like, you have floppies, you know, like a single
Like
issue
an
of a comic,
issue,
yeah.
and then often like a bound collection of those, or a work that is not ever been published as single issues, but it's just a work of sequential art,
Yeah.
basically a comic,
Like a novella
in a
or something
book,
like that. Yeah.
graphic novel, but like the term.
It felt like it was
there's,
just a way to like make you even feel like you're not a baby buying
That's
comics.
I thought it
exactly
was like
because in America, like the comics industry, well, basically, like, I mean, this is dark shit, but like, people used to read comics, and then comics were essentially outlawed, and the government got involved, and they were like, basically, if you don't self-regulate, similar to video games, we're gonna have to like come in here and start regulating the industry, because there was a crazy guy who said that comics are turning kids into like homosexual deviants.
Can't have that.
Just like Kellogg's, just like sugary cereals make you masturbate more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is that what's
Stuff
doing
like
that? I gotta stop.
That's why you have stuff like bran flakes.
Yeah, it's true. It's completely true.
Those
There's
make
always
you-
freaks who are trying to do this stuff.
It'll make you masturbate less.
So like,
I want to come in the
basically-
cornflakes.
they decimated the American comics industry and made it like so it only appealed to kids, and then in the probably around the mid 80s.
80s, that's when it
they
had
started
its-
using the term graphic novel more.
I feel like it's
Adults feel less embarrassed.
similar relationship to like doll versus action figure. Same
Or like
terms.
action
gender
figure
thing,
versus
yeah.
figurine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
Right.
either of those
Or
versus
statuette.
figurine or statuette. Yeah.
It's like statuette with 36 points of articulation.
It's like the
a toy.
McFarlane,
It's a toy.
the
Yeah.
McFarlane figurines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I used to get. My dad got me like 2 of those when I was like 10, and those
badass.
were
They're
sick as
sick.
fuck.
They're really
so
good.
Cool. I'd buy them now.
Dude, I have
You know
a
what I mean? Like if I saw
McFarlane
one of-
Venom.
You also have like a McFarlane fucking Brute that I fucking
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
I break
From
all
Halo.
of them though. I broke all of them because I was playing with them like real toys. I've got like
Yeah.
a cool ass Predator missing an arm. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
damn. But
Ass Predator.
in other parts of the world, there are comics basically for every demographic, and they're
Yeah.
just seen as like another form of media.
Even like
Yeah.
anime or manga, there's like literally
Same
there's
deal.
like they're like the volleyball club comic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit rules. I love
yeah,
it.
the firefighter
It's so much
comic.
better than you think, because like I don't even play volleyball, but
Yeah,
the
and you're
storyline.
like, oh, what could the firefighter comic be about? And you're like, it's not really about fighting that many fires. It's
No.
mostly about what it's like to exist as a volunteer firefighter and live together
Yeah.
while working. You know what I mean? They're like, that's
The
really
occasional-
interesting.
yeah, it's
Occasionally you got to
weirdly
stop
a
the fire,
drama.
but like no heroics. You know what I mean? 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know,
So this was a movie based on a comic, though.
yes,
And is there vampires in it?
Yeah.
yeah, pretty.
Okay,
like,
I was gonna say
yeah.
it just sounds like vampire shit.
Yes,
to me.
it is. Yeah, it was.
takes place it takes place in Barrow, Alaska, in like
Okay.
a very small town that's like 30 days of night.
It's when they obviously they don't see the sun for fucking
and that's
like
when
a
the
month.
vampires.
Right.
And the vampires descend on the town.
Very similar to I Am Legend. In the comics, the vampires are just humans that are vampires, but in the movies they cannot speak. They're a lot more monstrous. But it's fucking.
Yeah.
Remember it being very good.
That was a bummer for me with the I Am Legend movie, because in the
I-
book it's like really effective.
I read the
It was
novella
really
like,
good.
afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
And the novella was way better.
It's so fucking
Yeah.
good.
Like the movie's good, but they're
'Cause there's that-
almost like they're two totally separate.
Yeah,
There's that
you know
one
what I mean?
neighbor that he has that's like constantly like antagonizing you, and you like yell back and forth, like having conversations with him. Like, fuck, goddamn, that book was good.
So you're in a 30 Days of Night style situation here with the turmoil
right.
and the crusher. So what I did was I kicked the glove compartment open, and
Yeah.
there was a gun in there.
Yep.
And then I like kicked the gun onto the steering wheel.
Like, impossibly.
Incredible skill.
Norman J. You didn't know he hacks?
He what?
He hacks. He fucking little sack. Little sack
yeah.
toss.
He's got a lot of.
He's
foot
outside
control.
the lunchroom. You know, he's outside the cafeteria.
Norman Jayden
He's
strikes
got-
me as
by
the
the
kind of
picnic
guy who would be
tables?
like, yeah, I got the Apple Pay chip inserted underneath my skin.
Right.
So,
He's got the Rasta like
I
pattern.
fucking, like I feel like
hacky sack.
I feel like every. I feel like I hate it. This is just a pet peeve. I get that you can pay with shit like using your phone, pay for shit like
Yeah,
on a
Apple
card.
Pay.
Don't fucking do it. Why do you have to fucking do it? I fucking hate it.
People
I
do it all
fucking
the
hate when
time.
someone walks up and they're just like, "Oh, it doesn't scan." I'm like, I don't even know how that works.
Well,
I don't even
it's-
understand why. Why are you doing that?
Well, it's convenient because you're already looking at your phone at all times.
Yeah, you're
anyway.
already not making eye contact.
Your
with
phone's
me.
always out to begin with. Might as well just hover it towards the
It is,
direction
it
of
is
the payment
100%
device.
always the people who like won't really say hello back to you.
You got- they're
when they
not
walk
them.
up to the register.
They're on FaceTime.
You're like, "Hi, how's your day going?" And they're like, "Yep." And they
Yeah.
just like put the stuff down, and they're just holding it there the whole time you're
waiting.
scanning shit. Like, and
Yeah.
you're just like, "Come on, man."
Well, you shoot the
touch my
cuffs.
foot.
Yeah, you shoot the cuffs.
Which is crazy.
In a really awkward way too. Like you get the gun and you're like holding it like so the gun's positioned like this. Yeah. And you're like, God, I'm leaning my head back so I don't
Gee
fucking.
whiz.
Yeah. I was like, this is iffy. But
Gun
you shoot the cuffs
safety
off, you get
101.
out, you barely escape the crusher. The car's
I
like
wasn't
going
sure-
in as you're jumping
Like,
in.
yeah.
yourself.
I wasn't
I
sure
thought
if-
you were gonna lose a leg.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was fucking it up, but it was very tight.
You can fuck it up.
I
you
thought
can
this
die.
felt.
You
I don't
can
know.
die in this scene.
Yeah. This felt like there was something like I was like, I think I'll really die here if I fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. There was no foreseeable way that I could see him escaping that if I messed up the
I just
quick
want to
time.
go back and play through a few chapters. I've already did that last night. I was replaying through a couple, making different decisions, and it's fucking.
It is interesting.
It's surprisingly engaging. So you get down out of the thing and you're fighting in the mud with
Yeah.
Mad Jack, and you're just throwing everything you got at him. Literally, just picking stuff up and throwing it at him.
Yeah.
And I was fucking this up. I was so sure I was gonna die.
Oh no.
I was back and
doing pretty
forth.
good. But like the thing to note that was funny is like he hops out of the fucking crane machine, but like doesn't take it out of park or whatever. Like I mean, doesn't put it in park or anything. It just
Right.
fucking keeps like
Yeah, it just
you're
keeps
like kind of
going.
like it's just kind of like borderline chasing the two of you.
I don't know
as
if-
you fight in like a circle around.
Do you
That
know-
is how those things work.
Do they work like a regular car?
If it's just running, it's gonna keep rolling. Like you gotta fucking
Brutal.
That's why you need like training to use those things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's an intense fight.
I didn't fuck it up that bad though.
I don't know. I was very on the edge of my seat. I was kind of.
You're doing a bad job either way.
Right, because the man is fucking enormous.
Yeah, he's absolutely
Really
massive.
big, clearly very
He's
experienced
just like
in fighting.
He's just like a wall of meat. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's just nothing but muscle.
And you think Jayden would, like, somehow, like, I don't know, I just assume he would be like, I have pressure point training or something.
Yeah.
Or like
Something
he'd know how to like
utilize
use his size.
Like,
against
ah,
him,
my
you know
trap
what I mean?
card.
Like,
Like,
or
he
he'd
has some
have like
sorta-
he'd train in like a little bit of like wrestling or like BJJ,
Yeah.
so he could just like fucking like knock him
Yeah,
down,
maybe
trip
slap
him
his
off.
dick clean off.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Have some finesse.
Grab his dick twisted. You know what I mean?
BJ
Twist his
jerking.
BJ
He,
jerking
you,
out.
you kick him in the
Big
balls,
jerk.
don't you? I think you kick him in the nuts.
I'm pretty sure you kick him in the nuts. If
And he
Yeah.
goes, you'll find I removed my testicles.
Oh no!
he pulls a Peggy Hill, and he goes, you'll find that will not work on me, or I don't have any testicles.
have no
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a lie. Don't trust her. She's lying.
It's one of my favorite scenes of King of the Hill.
It's great.
That still hurts women if you
Yeah,
kick
but
them.
not as much. You know what I mean? It's you're still getting kicked
I think that yes.
in a sensitive area, so it's like like if you got kicked in the armpit, that would hurt a lot too.
If you get him right in the little bean there.
Well, I'm sure you.
How many women have you kicked in the clitoris?
We're not here to talk about that today, Matt. We're here to talk about it. Heavy rain.
It's another Dave Chappelle joke. Another great one. I
right.
kicked her in the pussy. You remember?
Yeah, no.
All right.
No? All right. Sorry.
Did you get really excited from him almost getting fucking stabbed and rewatch all of his back catalog?
No, that's like the only special I saw. I think of like the three that he's
okay.
released recently. It's a special where he had. It was like the equanimity and the bird crisis or whatever.
I watched him, but I forgot all the content.
I like stand-up comedy.
I do
But
too.
I do too. So eventually,
Spent a lot of time trying stand-up specials, and then it seems like 4 out of 5 are just like, I chuckled.
yeah.
And then there's always that one where I'm like, damn, that was great.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it again in 4 years.
Yeah,
when
I like
it's fresh again.
because it won't be funny to me if I try to watch it again in like
Yeah.
a month. You know what I mean?
But eventually, you find both of yourselves in front of that.
Machine.
Yeah, and you're like wrestling upon it.
Yeah, and they're like beating each, like pushing each other off of it and shit. And there's a lot of like points of like this. The fight
It's like
kept
trying to
like
shove your head into the
yeah.
wheel and
Fucking
shit.
treads, yeah, he's like-
What it appears to me happened is that he was wearing overalls with the straps undone. What are you looking at? Wow. There's a bunch of hot guys, shirtless.
They're fucking-
They're all rollerblading
They're all
together.
lean, not bulky.
They're not bulky.
There was like one of them looked a little bulky, and then one of them
mostly
with a
lean.
shirt.
That is not a regular Plattsburgh's site.
no, that's why.
Usually we don't see like fit shirtless men rollerblading around. That's like a Miami
with
thing.
that have like they have like all of their teeth. You
And
know?
like they clearly take care of their bodies
Yeah.
and themselves. We're much more representative of what you're going to
It's
get.
mostly close to
Yeah.
what you're gonna
Plattsburgh, New York.
It pretty much only gets worse from here.
Yeah.
Like, we're you know,
Anyway,
we're all right. Don't.
like the straps of his overalls get caught in the tread, and he literally gets sucked under the
He
machine.
gets strapped
and
under
Jayden
it.
just goes,
Oh.
and he just watches it happen.
And you watch, like, the trail of blood get dragged, like, behind it
Yeah.
as it continues to, like, roll around.
But I didn't notice the overalls until that moment.
No, it seemed like he was wearing jeans and a t-shirt. I mean, jeans and, like, a wife beater, like a tank top A-frame t-shirt. Is what they're called. But that seemed like jeans and a tank top until that point. I didn't notice the straps either, and it feels like I would have, seeing that you're, like, fighting each other the whole time.
I think I noticed he was wearing those.
I just didn't.
I didn't know. I don't know. I'm gonna assume that it was always there, but I was like, did they animate this just for this to happen because they
There's
wrote
a-
themselves into a corner?
A few moments in this game that really kind of make you things that make you go,
I'd like to talk about all those at the end of the game.
I'd like to bring
together,
up one
but
that
if
we
you have
skipped
one.
over that I meant to
Yeah.
earlier, which is after you shoot the man in the head or don't shoot him in the head.
Mm-hmm.
If you shoot the man in the head, you find out that the next message is in the handle of the gun, like the next memory card. And I wanted to clarify because I was kind of fucking confused. Where I'm like, up until that point, I assumed
Not a lot of real estate inside of a gun handle.
Well, it's not that part. It's not that part.
Okay.
It's the fact that it seems like he's sending you updated videos of these things, of Sean. You know what I mean? Like, this seems like it's like right now, this is what Sean looks like.
There's
You know what I mean?
somehow
Or
a
like-
memory card that has a Bluetooth receiver that is getting a live feed update.
Yes. Or he's, like, up until that, I'm like, it would have made sense that he's just dropping them in the location before you get there or as you get there. You
that
know what I mean?
gun's
The
with
origami
you
killer.
from the genesis
But
of
the
the
gun
box.
is with you the whole...
And
So
you
either...
check it and stuff.
Yeah, so either he like went into the motel before you go, but again, you check it before you go in and stuff, and all that shit. And so I'm like, that part was confusing to me. That was another like plot hole moment where I was kind of like, but is it that? Is there a Bluetooth live feed in this memory card for this?
It could also be
Number
the memory
pad-
card is like an encryption thing that it's like getting beamed to the phone, but you can't access it until you have the memory card.
That's fair as well.
But to do that,
But it was-
the
yeah.
memory card, and the memory cards do look kind of weird because then it would have to have a battery to make it able to send and receive, and it'd probably have to be some sort of SIM card, which allows you to like network because
No, like
it's
I'm saying,
Bluetooth.
the phone could be getting the stuff, and then the memory card is just like a password, basically.
Oh, okay. I see
That's what I'm
you
trying
mean.
to suggest.
Yeah, that could be it.
Oh,
That's fair.
you're saying that's the encryption key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
that's that.
Which is fair,
I mean,
but it's never made clear.
I've had devices that work like that where it's like everything's working, then you need like the USB thing to stick in there to unlock, like the iLock devices and shit.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
Pro Tools and shit sometimes has shit like that.
very glad I
Shit,
never
shit,
had
shit,
to.
shit, shit.
Get very glad I never had to
Shit,
deal
fuck,
with
shit,
the
shit,
actual
fuck.
dongles. Heard a lot
Let's
of.
move on.
All right.
Yeah, sorry that I brought us back, but yeah, but you fucking kill
Bring us back to the past
Mad Jack.
to kick Mad Jack's little ass. Chapter 34, Eureka. This is where they have a Eureka moment. Lauren and Shelby are back at Shelby's place.
They're gonna fuck.
She sees Shelby's files on the killer and notices he has some magazines on origami. And she thinks that the origami killer is the one who killed Manfred. She thinks it's all connected.
Yes.
And she's like, what do you got these origami magazines for? And he's like, I don't know, just like fucking trying
cool.
to figure everything out. Like looking at all
He's looking at like the he's trying to look through the old fucking
like the letters section and stuff or
yeah, like the
subscriber
old
lists.
subscriber list. That's what it
Yeah.
is, like the subscription list.
And so she's wet and hungry and cold, and I offered to make her scrambled eggs while she's under the shower.
Under the shower.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll make them while you're under the shower.
I did try to sneak into the shower and take a peek at her.
Did you?
Matt,
I didn't because I was like, Scott Shelby's a wholesome man.
why'd you do that?
I said, how
you
much
do
of a
it
creep
too?
can Shelby be?
Did you do it too?
Why would you make Scott do that?
And he
doesn't
goes-
work.
He goes,
It doesn't work.
No, he goes,
It doesn't work, and like, but he can't open the door's locked. But also, weird that she locked that door because I think his bathroom has a door as well that she could just lock that one. And what if
She
he
wanted
needed
to be
to?
extra safe.
Yeah,
How did it go with the scrambled eggs for you guys?
So good.
Yeah.
weirdly.
Yeah. So this is the scene where
Very-
he calls Carter a twisted fuck.
Okay, so I tried to apply my actual cooking experience to making these scrambled eggs.
Nope.
It's impossible to tell when they're cooked.
I make eggs 4 days a week, maybe. Often scrambled. Sometimes I just fry it, put it in like a English muffin sandwich or something.
Yeah.
I make omelets. I make a pretty good omelet. I'm good at the fold and
Yeah.
everything.
Jordan does it professionally.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I have a lot of egg experience as well.
Yeah, and I'm
Egg
just saying, like,
experience?
so I tried to, like, you get the heat on.
Yep.
I put the pan on.
Crack
First
the
of all,
eggs.
it's weird that there's no heat on before he cracks the eggs. You always want your pan hot.
What the
before you
fuck
put
was
any-
that? That
you
was
always
so
want your
weird.
pan- I mean, he said he doesn't know how to cook. Get it? But you want your pan hot before you put food in there. You know what I mean? No matter what. And but so he cracks the eggs. He scrambles them in the pan. Then he turns the heat on.
Yeah.
No butter or anything.
He does
I
the
don't
move
remember.
that some people do where you just put eggs in the pan, then you stir it until it's done, which
Yeah.
I never do. I don't think that really... It works.
Yeah.
gotta
I
be
don't like that method.
No way,
No.
it's not
I
slower.
whip it up, and then if I'm scrambling, then I'll do it. But, like, I don't just crack and then stir.
No, I don't crack and stir either. No,
If I went to somebody's apartment-
because you got to break it down. You know
I
what I
went
mean?
to somebody's
You're trying to
apartment,
break down
they'd-
the connections, so
and
it's
they'd-
like it's more.
If I saw somebody do that, I'd be concerned. I'd be like, something's wrong here.
But my point is like, so like I put it on the heat and I give it a stir. I leave it there for a second and I stop, stir it again,
Yep.
stop, stir it a third
Stir it a
time, and then I
third
go,
time.
okay, that seems like that's about how long it takes to make scrambled eggs on high heat with your fucking thing. And I dump it onto the plate and it comes out as a solid mass.
Yeah.
Onto the plate.
A solid mess.
She fucking sits down and she goes,
I don't really like raw eggs. Maybe I should have told you.
I'm sorry. I told you, I'm not a great chef.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, no,
I was like,
too.
what the fuck? I
Yeah,
was like,
I have no idea what I did wrong.
I don't know how long you have to fucking cook those
How
eggs.
long do you fucking cook 2 eggs for?
And I don't know what they're supposed.
It's probably
a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should take a minute max.
You could
know what I
probably
mean? Like,
put eggs on high heat. Like
I'm
your
telling you, I
maximum heat.
scramble eggs like nearly every day of the week.
Me
Multiple
too.
orders of eggs.
Me too. And I visually, I was like, looks done.
Hard to
Yeah.
fuck up. Like,
Also,
they don't-
time-wise,
Yeah,
don't burn.
it seemed right. He was doing the right thing too. He did have like the good method of where you on the heat, off the heat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On the heat, off the heat.
I nailed it. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
thought I
and she ate it and she liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she told me she doesn't like eating raw
Well, I
eggs.
think
Yeah.
she eats like a bite or two before, the next thing happens. But yeah.
Right, so
She
the
didn't
next
have any
thing that
snarky
happens
comments.
is they basically take the records that they got from Manfred's and cross-analyze them against the subscriber list of their Origami magazine, and they find a name.
Bam. What's his name, Commander?
They don't give the name yet.
That's a Mass Effect character.
Yeah, I was
It's the
getting
same
ready.
name.
Is that his first name? Default?
I don't
Or is
know
it
what
just
his first
Commander?
name is.
Commander Shepard.
I think they just always call him Commander Shepard.
Okay.
So, man, I really didn't like Mass Effect. I want to give it another chance. I got
keep
like
fucking-
3 hours into the first one,
I keep trying, dude.
and
I
was
can't
like,
do
this
it.
kind of sucks.
I don't like
does.
it at all.
It
Does
doesn't
it get
did.
better?
No, the combat doesn't really get any better. It stays about that level of jankiness. You
Jank.
know what I mean? Yeah, it's that level of jank.
Awkward
in
as hell.
every title, I'd say. They keep the same
I
combat
could deal with
system
that,
and
but does
everything.
the story get better?
The story gets a tiny bit better, but really only in the complexity of it and the way that the only thing that I thought was cool about it, because I played through it in high school. The main thing I thought was cool about it was if you played through Mass Effect on the same system you played,
Right.
all of your decisions carry over into the next game, and that
Yeah.
affects how the second game plays. And
Like with Witcher.
I love that kind of shit.
that's what I love too. And otherwise, it was just kind of, it's not that good.
The third game's ending was so bad that people rebelled against it and they updated it to have a new
It was
ending.
such kind of it was just a cop out.
I
Yeah,
keep
I
They
trying
chose
to,
the easiest.
There's
wanna-
a Gamers did a video on
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
that happened.
I want to like that series so
But-
much, and I bought the collection, and I was like, oh, fucking
It's
hell
just-
yeah, I'm going to play Mass
It's
Effect. And I just can't do it.
Not that good. You know what I mean? It plays similar to
But it
similarly
seems so
to
revered.
Knights of the Old Republic. You know what I mean?
I don't
It-
like
it
those
feels
games
like
either.
No,
Those,
neither do I.
I don't know if I'm just not into that type of role playing where
You
it's
might-
it's
that-
almost like a Bethesda game, but
With worse combat
with
and worse.
worse combat, but also yeah.
It's
I
play-
bet
plays like
different-
Guild
Bethesda
Wars
games
or
don't have
something,
great
you know what I
combat
mean?
either.
They're not great, but I feel engaged.
I mean, Fallout 3 and 4 and Skyrim, all the combat's kind of bad.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine.
Like the archery is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the powers are fun, like magic and shit. Some of the guns in Fallout are fun.
I like some of the unarmed stuff, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
that shit.
yeah,
but-
it never
it's
feels
just,
very
it's
weighty.
awkward in a different way.
Yeah.
But it just seems like it's like a Bethesda style RPG with more choices.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also not I don't know how to put it. The RPGs that I really like have way more choice and way more depth, and also unique combat mechanics or something that's more strategy based.
Yeah.
It doesn't really feel like the choices, other than the huge choices, a lot of the little choices you get to make in Mass Effect, never really felt like they had that much pull or effect on what would end up inevitably happening anyways. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's like, because it's like no matter what, you could play all 3 of those games completely different, you know what I mean? And then you're all going to be funneled into the same 3 end choices. And only two of them are apparent to you.
Well,
the other one is like, that's just, we could go on.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
She figures out the name and she is like, ha ha.
We're smooth sailing, baby.
I like that face.
I wrote my notes, like the face she makes is horrifying. And she does your thing where it's like hands behind the head, leaning back, like I'm in the sun. I took
a screenshot of one of Ethan's faces because it's like he's walking at one point and I turn around and you see him and he's just going.
He's making like a pained face.
It's like but he's just standing. His eyes are closed and he's like, I continued to walk forward. He didn't open his eyes. He's just. I was like, what the fuck?
We go forward into chapter 35, the cemetery.
Cemetery.
Meet me at the cemetery gates.
Was that,
Not the Smiths.
Yeah, it was like the Smiths or the Cure.
The only name on both lists is the name of a kid who died 30 years ago. And Lauren believes the killer has possibly stolen that child's identity and is using the name for some reason. The name is John Shepherd.
John Shepherd.
Little Johnny.
And this is where, like, I don't have the full line, but he goes...
She's convinced she's onto something. And here's me, thinking we're wasting our friggin' time in this friggin' cemetery.
Yeah, he does say like a very Peter Griffin line.
Lauren. Hey, Lauren.
Lauren.
Hey, Lauren. I can't... Wow, I lost Peter. Hey,
Where'd he go?
Hey, wow. I used to have it a little bit. I got nothing.
Hey, Lauren. No, that's like Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, Lauren.
Hey, Lauren. I can't do it.
I feel like we're all sucking shit at Peter.
I've never been able to do Peter Griffin.
I can kind of do his laugh.
Wow, I used to have it a little bit.
Because I just got a voice message from Andrew the other night where it was both of us trying to do a
Raymond.
Like in the Raymond. He was going Raymond. Then I said back Deborah.
Eventually, you do find the grave of John Shepherd.
Did you find it or did Lauren find it?
Lauren totally found it. I did not find it.
I think she found it. It just took me a long time to get there.
Yeah,
but there's fresh. It's fucking confused. This was as confusing as the locker depot scene where you're like going through. I was like,
there's no organized.
Well, I asked somebody. I was trying to. It kind of seemed like it went chronologically to a degree.
Interrupted a crying woman.
If you looked at the.
There's different plots. There was I think there's like a plot for different ages and ethnicities.
It was like children's plot. I didn't notice the ethnicities.
Like an Irish plot, I thought.
But I asked somebody. I was in the children's plot and I was like, "Do you know where John Shepherd is?" I think it was the Gravedigger or whatever, and he was like, "Yeah, he's straight ahead."
Yeah.
So then I went straight ahead.
Yeah. Straight from where?
I was like, is it straight from where I'm looking? Because I could be looking anywhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? Ostensibly. So I went straight ahead from the Gravedigger.
Very subjective.
And I couldn't fucking find it.
Direction.
And then when Lauren found it, not straight ahead from anywhere.
Not at all. Also, I don't know. I've never seen a graveyard to be categorized like that. Usually you're buried where you choose to be or near your family, generally.
Well, usually it's generally different. Religious.
I've never seen a thing that said like the dead kids are here, the dead olds are here. Like
I don't think there was like a dead old people one.
Even still,
geriatric section.
Yeah, it was strange to me.
No,
accidental deaths.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't, but I haven't been to a lot of cemeteries either.
I used to go to
heart attacks are over there. Suicides over that side.
If you were suicided, hell, that's over here.
Oh,
in the Clinton
jeez.
plot.
Oh boy.
So
we don't talk about that one.
The Gravedigger is hilarious here, but we don't talk to him just yet, although you do have a brief word with him. He doesn't really reveal his full absurdity yet.
The giant monster truck comes up.
It makes sense where he'd like maybe know where somebody was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Higher education.
There's
trucks.
fresh flowers and an origami figure on the grave.
Flesh flowers?
Yeah. There's fresh flowers.
Flowers for Algernon.
On it. And the Gravedigger comes up and he's like, he basically is like, I think he puts his hands on the shovel even. He's like, oh, yes.
He like stabs it into the ground in front of a fucking existing
Smashes
grave.
a vase.
Oh, you're looking at the old shepherd grave, are you?
Oh, youngin'. That one I knew well.
You knew John Shepherd?
I've worked this graveyard nearly all my life. I remember what happened. It was in 77. October, I think.
I know that story well. In fact, it was 30 years ago on this very day.
Everything goes dark and it goes...
I don't know what that is.
It's the Undertaker theme, poorly.
Oh.
It's like I don't know.
poorly.
I don't know how to like do that with my mouth. It's very just like.
It cuts to a close up of just the gravedigger's face, and it's like. like in The Shining, because there's that, like, just that eerie fucking. Like,
oh, okay.
I just think it's hilarious that he's like, yes, the shepherd grave. I come here every day. And
Sordid tale that.
Oh my! Well, I mean, I have a story for every single person who's ever lived here, but the shepherd grave. In
like you're in a graveyard in a big city where, like, I imagine like people die every fucking day. Like kids die constantly. You know, like kids are always fucking. They're dropping like dying. Flies. You know, they're easy. They're soft, brittle bones.
Fortunately, you can just make another one.
But he tells you the shepherd story.
Yeah,
he does
walks you through.
Vivid detail, as if you're living it through the child's eyes.
As if he was there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and he says he knows the story of John Shepherd very well. So it brings us to chapter 36. Twins. Two boys. We talked about it in the last episode.
I haven't learned. I haven't checked that out since.
Really?
It's funny. We should, like, in between. After this one, I'll play you the Scary Movie 3 scene.
All right.
Because that's
Is that when Charlie Sheen has a big pee-pee?
Nope, that's Scary Movie 4.
All right.
Football on TV, shots of Gina Lee, hanging with my friends and twins. I love burritos at 4 a.m., parties that never end, dogs that love cats, and twins, and I love you too. It's the love someday.
You want to grab two of them. You want to grab 2 Coors Lights at a time. You know what I mean? Might as well bring 2.
That's why you're twinning?
Twins!
Twins! 2 boys are being thrown out of their trailer home by a drunken father.
This one's a real trailer. You fucking liar. No, this is like a camper.
This is just a trailer camper just in the middle of a construction site.
So, I think you guys just made a Joker reference and I totally didn't get it.
We had a long discussion about what is and what is not a trailer.
Oh, okay.
Spurred by your insistence that something was or was not a trailer.
They are not in a trailer park, though.
No, they're at a construction site.
They literally seem to live at a construction site.
Within the gate of the construction site.
It seems like this guy's working there, and the guy who's building it is like, I'll let you live here because you have nowhere else to fucking go.
Yeah.
If you
it doesn't make any sense to me, to be honest. But you think
that's a safety hazard or something.
You're going through this empty construction site, and you're 2 kids playing there. And I've done this when I was a kid. I've been in places like this.
Yeah, we went into like it wasn't this big, but like we 100% there was like a convenience store being built, and you might not have been with us, but it was like our group of friends.
Cat.
We just wander around. The one near where it used to live in Morrisonville. It was being built on the corner. It was big. They just left it open for a while, and we'd just go fuck around in there sometimes.
All right, that sounds cool.
We just wander around in there. Or like we used to go fuck around in the sand pits.
Sand pits. Sand pits. We just have giant sand pits.
Yeah.
They're fucking cool.
You can
shit.
You can jump off the side and the sand's so loose so you can just fucking land in it without hurting yourself as long as you slide.
And you can bring a sword that you ordered from budk.com and shove it right into your left ankle.
I lost a watch because I went so deep into the sand jumping off of it. When I came back up, my watch was
gone.
Have you guys seen the movie Final Cut with Robin Williams? It's like a kind of a cyberpunk movie.
I don't think so. The Bicentennial Man?
No. So in the movie, basically you can sign up for this service like at birth almost, where your thoughts are all recorded. And then,
okay. That's also like a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a common trope in science fiction. Mm-hmm. But there is someone like who's an editor who, when you die, they go through all the footage and they put together like a memorial video compilation of your experiences, and it's all first person, from you.
Yep.
And you trust them with the edit, basically. And the thing that happens to Robin Williams is that when he was a child,
he saw a crime.
Well, he was playing, it's this exact scene almost.
Okay.
And he's playing at a construction site, and a kid, like, falls when they're doing one of these big jumps and dies. And him and his family are, like, at, like, a rest stop. They're, like, traveling. And so he just stops into this place he's never been before. Like, their 2 kids are, like, just, like, he says, okay, they start playing because there's a construction site. And he fucking leaves, gets back in the car, and just never tells anyone.
Jesus.
And the whole movie is about him, like, as he's nearing his own death, he's realizing that, like, he's like battling with this like, I never spoke about this murder, so I'm
Oh my
find
God.
out about this.
What the fuck?
It's a really good movie. It's people
A murder?
Like, people.
It's a murder?
Not murder. Well, not murder, but like
Just death.
a death that he was a part of that he never reported. And so, because a lot of people point to 1 Hour Photo as like a great dramatic role of his. Mm-hmm. Have you guys ever seen that?
I've seen that one.
It's
then What Dreams May Come was good too, but it wasn't the same. Not the same.
But he's kind of playing like a, it's a very similar character.
Yeah, he's playing a villain.
What's the what's the older one where he's a teacher or something? Dead Poet Society. Brutal. Holy shit, that was a brutal film.
Yeah. But yeah, so The Final Cut is a very good movie, and all I could think of during this scene was like, oh my god, is this like the same fucking thing?
Yeah.
Right.
And it kind of is.
Yeah.
I do wonder if this was like taken from. It's like it's so similar in so many ways. Although the idea of the kids playing on a construction site is nothing new.
This was freaking me out because it's raining.
Heavy rain.
The very heavy rain. You're like clearly going up like scaffolding and like stairs that don't have railings. Everything's
There's
very
a couple
slick.
points where I'm like, you guys are going really high up.
Yeah.
And then when you do like the monkey bars thing,
The I-beams
like
on the
across
I-beams.
I
Like
was
how
like,
strong
what
are these
the
fucking?
fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like
One point you jump off the building
I was
into
a scared kid for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, fuck.
These kids were fearless.
Yeah.
I imagine their horrible life probably informed that a
Well,
bit.
the kid you're playing at seems like he's like, I gotta do this to keep up with the other one.
Yeah, he's like a little
I
bit.
gotta impress him.
He's my cool brother.
Yeah. So they decide to play hide and seek.
Yep.
Did you count to 20?
I
Or
did.
You skip?
I counted all
I
the way to
skipped a
20.
couple. I skipped a couple.
I skipped one. I didn't mean to. I was like, fuck. I don't. It doesn't matter.
You're pretty tanked, so it's hard to remember 17, 18. But yeah, I counted all the way through. Can we wanted to mention their little voices.
Oh, they have
Mention
the
those
fucking
really good
the
voices.
fucking accents are terrible. in
Really
this
rough.
scene.
And here's the thing that's crazy to me is that the voice acting in Indigo Prophecy, which I think came out like 7 or 8 years prior,
Yeah. It was good.
like some of the line reads are a little off. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's sometimes a little goofy because like voice acting is often directed poorly in video games where conversation is like not paced correctly, and often like that. I even watched a video recently where somebody was like
Oblivion.
It's not. Yeah, where it's not like it's sometimes actually the fault of the programming because it's like line triggers this line, cycle through frames triggers next line, and it doesn't like keep the pacing of the
I'm
actual
saying
conversation.
this line.
I will
And
say
now,
mine now.
yeah.
So it suffers from a little bit of that, but there's nothing where you go, whoa, why is this person reading this like this?
Yeah.
And it happens a lot in Heavy Rain.
It's glaring. Where it's like you had mentioned, where you can make characters whatever ethnicity you want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can be from anywhere. They can have any types of
They can be
parents.
immigrant kids, and it would
Yeah.
make sense that they
It
have
doesn't fucking matter.
foreign accents.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
But they don't.
Yeah.
It's just weird they don't. Whatever.
They didn't even try. Like
These
it
kids,
feels like with these kids, they didn't even try. Like the kids were fucking it up, and they were like, "Fuck it, we don't have any other kids." You
Like
know what
it's
I mean?
hard
Like,
for us, like it's hard for adult actors to like nail an accent, but like it's impossible for kids. They're like it sounded like French. One of them was French, and it was just like try to sound like an American boy. Like, God.
Yeah, I don't even know how a kid would be capable of trying to do an American accent.
No, I would have no.
You know? And it's funny because, like, if for a game like Max Payne, my understanding is that Rockstar, who was, co-publishing the game, did handle some of the voice recording.
Yeah.
Probably because in Finland,
yeah, they're finished.
maybe they didn't have a bunch of people who could sound like they were from New York City.
Right.
So they outsourced it to America.
Where they could easily get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be smart about stuff.
Yeah, it seems like they did it for Indigo Prophecy. Maybe they just had their budget cut or something. But
And it was in stark. I just watched the latest Spider-Man: No Way Home, and all of like so many of the major characters that are playing major actors that are playing American characters are not American, and they nail it. So I think maybe if you just throw enough money at something.
Everybody like talks about how Tom Holland does like a really good accent or whatever, and like I've heard it a few times just in clips. I've never seen any of the movies. I'll admit that.
It's a little
It's not very
sing-songy.
good. It's not a very
I think
good
it's
accent.
fucking leagues better than this. Than any.
Oh, it's way better than this. But I just don't, I just don't think it's that. I don't think It sounds like he's someone trying to do an American accent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Which is fine, but I'm just we're getting real off topic.
Yeah,
I guess,
but I'm just saying it
regardless.
can be done well.
It can be done well, and it's not in this game, and it's jarring as hell. But eventually, John
Shepherd
is caught in
a fucking. They call it a pipe.
There's like a drain pipe, but it's also just a pit.
And it's broken.
And his foot's caught on something.
It's like a runoff pipe or something, like a culvert. You know what I mean? But it is literally just like they just smashed open the top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For whatever
and so
reason.
Don't know what's going on there.
He's stuck and he's starting to drown. And you run and try to go get help.
Yeah.
It's like foot is caught. It's a very.
His
I
foot
don't.
is caught on
I could never explain this scenario non-visually. Like I wouldn't know how to say it. Like he's just like kind of holding on as if he's like peering over
It's almost
fence.
like he's just in a big hole in the ground.
Yeah, but the water seems to be rushing the opposite direction. I don't know how he got there, and it doesn't show you, and we never know.
And we go back to reality. It's chapter 37, Flowers on the Grave. The gravekeeper says that a storm is coming, and he ends his story, and it's like, a storm is coming.
It's actively raining.
Yeah.
One of the first things Shelby says is like commenting on the rain.
So it's been storming.
Yeah.
For a couple days, for a while now. You know what I mean? Like
Horrible line. Makes no. I could say like,
coming.
like maybe like the rain's starting to get worse or something, but it's like no, the storm is
now.
Or you could be
been
like,
happening.
I'm
It is
at
been
work
happening.
right now. Probably better get back to work. You know what I mean? Like there's a million other excuses you could come up with as to why he had to leave that conversation.
But
You know what I
as you
Those
walk
burritos
away,
from last night are coming back.
I'm about to shit my pants. I gotta leave.
burritos at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Parties that never end.
Dogs that love cats and
You showed me, and I already forgot.
yeah, you.
It was a cool commercial. I liked it.
It's all right. Hear wind whistling through your
It
ears.
reminds me of that like that Adam Sandler and Chris Farley sketch that they did.
Schmidt's Gay Beer.
Schmidt's Gay, I think is what they call it. And it's like them at the pool, and there's just a bunch of like ripped dudes at the pool, and it's them like in the beer commercial, and they're like looking at the ripped dudes, you know what I mean? And then they're all.
It was like us a minute ago with those rollerbladers.
It was very much like
Hot,
that.
sexy rollerblading
We're all
guys.
very confident in our, you know what I mean, where we're at, and
in our
I can
homosexuality.
identify when there's a good-looking body. Regardless,
I'm not seeing any right now.
No,
Kramer's father, as you're leaving, is rolling up to the graveyard.
Daddy Kramer.
And you're like, it's that guy Kramer. He goes to the grave.
I saw him at the
He
comedy
puts
store.
flowers on the grave.
He does.
I don't think it's at the comedy store.
No, it was the Laugh Factory. I don't remember which one it was. It was one of those.
It may have been the
places.
Laugh Factory.
I think it was.
Comedy Cellar. No. No, it wasn't that.
So that's the end of the chapter, but it goes, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oopsies.
Uh-oh. There was origami, and there was orchids, and he's putting the orchids there,
And he's been dodgy.
and he's been dodgy, and his son admitted to being the killer.
Yeah. So
His son said, "I am the origami."
things are
killer."
lining up a little.
His son actually is the one who said origami. I think
It was
him.
Yeah, it was him that said
Gordy.
origami.
Yeah, which is why he's like,
I'm the origami killer.
Origami
he's
killer.
like, oh, you thought I was the origami killer? I
I'm
said
the
I was the origami
origami.
killer. It's different.
Total mix-up. I am murdering children.
Different
Different.
guy.
Yeah.
You can't get me for those deaths.
I do origami, which is basically my own form of origami.
Yeah.
It's just worse.
I never learned how to do it.
I
It's not a-
garble the paper.
I just try to form it
I
into
get it really
a
wet
shape.
before I fold it, and then it's really more like paper mache.
It's messy.
I made a bust of you. Right here.
A busty
That's
bust.
the end of this episode.
I busted on this bust of you.
That's the
as-
end.
as
That's the end.
tribute.
That's the end. Anything to say?
I mean, like at this point, I was like, I'm pretty sure I typed in my notes, Kramer's is the killer. And I was
Yeah.
like, I was so sure.
Seemed pretty damning.
This was like the third time I was sure somebody was the killer. You know what I mean? But it's yeah,
A lot of red herrings throughout the game.
false positives.
At this point, I was just like, it's him. I had that same kind of thing. I was like, oh my god, now we got to confront him.
Did you guys shoot him?
I blasted him right there. We're gonna kill him. It's him. Got him.
He just falls into a freshly dug grave.
Got him. The whole
Gravedigger doesn't even see it, and he
whole
just keeps
yeah.
tossing the.
Lord.
He's filling the grave back in.
Yeah,
The whole
that's good.
that storm's coming faster and faster. Then everyone starts clapping.
The end. See you in the next episode.
Love you.
Subscribe.
It's not for you.